Good evening, everyone. Off the Ropes, episode 22. Your boy Brett Swinney here, Mr. NetSN himself, alongside the Professor Matt Diggs, Brandon Ogden, and the newest member of Off the Ropes is Swaggy. What's going on, guys?
I'm disappointed. I really thought we were going to open the show with adrenaline in my soul.
I figure we pay our last respects to the tribal chief after his 1,316-day reign as the WWE, the last Universal Champion. As I kind of picked up on Raw, they've dropped the Universal part. So, but yeah, huge WrestleMania, guys. How's everybody? How was everybody's Monday or Tuesday? I had a bad day today. Obviously, I had a little storm going on here and some other things.
Mr. NetSN is struggling.
Man, it was rough, man. Some trees falling, and I'm already out of bung leg here. You know, it's been a rough last few weeks. My wife broke her ankle. Both cars were hit off this tree. I've had ankle surgery. So, but all is well because the story is now finished. At least that chapter we hear. Oh, not the Plano East story, Matt. The other one.
It is finished as well. We're finishing all the stories. Now, I'm going to make a challenge for you gentlemen today, and if KO comes in, maybe y'all can help him with this.
I think you're scaring everybody off. Matt, you're scaring everybody off. At first it was Jeremy, and now KO.
KO and I are good. We're good. I haven't completely, thrown him out yet, and hopefully Swaggy's got that Carter pride in him. He ain't going anywhere. He can take a little jabbing. But I'm asking for your help because I was talking about my overall assessment of WrestleMania with a friend, and he went hard on me. He said that I am negative Nancy, that I am just too overly critical about things, and I just need to sit and enjoy the show. So we'll find out if you all agree with him when we get piece by piece, or if you think, okay, maybe I'm just a realist. We'll find out what y'all think as we break it down.
Well, what's funny is I can't wait till we get to those parts because I'm sitting to myself watching certain matches, and I'm like, man, Diggs is gonna hate that. Diggs is gonna hate that.
Well, we've done enough shows with him. We know kind of where he's going to go with it. He's looking for those 5-star matches.
Hey, I mean, everybody's got their own preferences. I mean, that's what makes professional wrestling fun. I mean, some people love WrestleMania, some people didn't. Some people like WWE, some people don't. Some people like all wrestling. Some people, gravitate. Some people like heels. Some people like baby faces. It's, pro wrestling. It's an opinion based entertainment factory, and we all have their. I mean, it's just like some people are fans of the Cowboys and some aren't. I mean, it's just another thing for us to argue about. That's what makes it fun.
That's what makes the show fun. We all have our own opinions. I have something to ask you guys of what you guys thought. The Stephanie McMahon appearance, a little bit surprising. She came out and opened night 2. I was kind of reading some things that they said on the call sheet actually had Triple H coming out. And I thought that was interesting, kind of like Endeavor's way of saying they support Stephanie because they're letting her go out. And I think for the first time, I can't remember the last time I saw her on TV. It's been a really long time. What'd you guys think about that?
Personally, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I think last time I saw Stephanie was when Bray Wyatt died. When she was on stage with him. That's the last time I saw her, like, besides WrestleMania. But I think it was nice for her to open up. I think it was nice. I think it was a great thing to do. I was expecting to hear, "Here comes the money," but I didn't hear it.
Well, maybe next time. Maybe next time, Swaggy. Maybe next time.
And she came out.
This is when we defer to Mr. Dirt Sheet Brandon because for me, her showing up, I need to know more about what her role is. Otherwise, it's just a WWE celebrity
it's
showing up to
carrot.
do that.
Matt. It's him dangling a little bit of a carrot, like, hey, get a reaction, see what kind of reaction they get from her. I mean, she wasn't booed. I mean, it was a good reaction. So, maybe she comes back and does a little bit more here as kind of just weaned her back in a little bit, I guess. I don't know. I don't have a problem with it because honestly, anything that her dad did, that was on him. That shouldn't affect her. Even if some of these folks knew about some of the stuff that was going on, there was no way they had any power to do anything about it. Like, there was just no way. I mean, Vince had so much control. Obviously, he weaned his way back into the company after all this happened. He still found his way out. I thought it was kind of ironic that he signed the deal and then ended up getting kicked out of his own company because they were smarter than him. And that was something he would have done, right? I mean, that's what he kind of did to his dad, I believe, when he took over the company to begin with. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like I guess getting his comeuppance, in other words. So I don't know. I don't know. Of course, we'll never know all the who knew what, but I honestly think it's a good move to get Stephanie back. I'm with Swaggy though. I wish Shane would come back too. I think that's one of the reasons why him and his dad didn't get along was he knew a lot of that stuff going on. That's why he left originally. I believe.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how with Diggs I became dirt sheet gags. I don't know if I've ever read a dirt sheet, and I don't think I've ever read one once. Maybe once or twice. Maybe read something Sean Ross Sapp put out or something, but it's not something I just like to sit and watch. But she came out with new music. I thought that was interesting, and also like she does, she doesn't have and they even, you noticed that. I don't know if you noticed that when they introduced her, she doesn't have a title anymore. She gave that up even before the TKO stuff, and then obviously when TKO they named their own in board and stuff, so she doesn't even have a title. I don't know. It may just be a one-off. I mean, it's WrestleMania. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I guess like Dig said, we don't have enough information to go off of, but it was cool to see her.
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick, something off the subject. I've been want to say this for like last week, but I get a chance to. For years on Twitter, I've read an article called "The Dump." And you know who I'm talking to over here. And I just always thought that was like so fun to read. I used to always just laugh and like laugh about it. And it's an honor to actually be in your presence, Diggs. So
wow.
I just have to say that, man.
He's acknowledging
Swaggy just put me over big. I mean, that's
he's acknowledging
like the Triple H.
He's acknowledging you.
Hey, I've been a big Diggs fan for as long as I remember on Twitter. It just honoring. I even go to games with him, and I'll be like, "Wow, that's the dude that be on Twitter with the dump." So it's overwhelming. So I was happy to want to tell you that, Matt. So I got it out my.
After about 3 shows, he'll bury you on here and argue with you, and you won't like him. No.
He's gonna turn on him.
He'll team up with Jeremy.
Steel chair on
he'll turn heel on you real quick, Swaggy, and you'll be getting hit with a chair like Seth Rollins got hit tonight.
Hey, wait till we get to talking about an AEW card, and then it really gets intense.
Oh man! But
Swaggy,
you carry on,
AEW
I just want to say that. I just want to say that.
Swaggy, are you an AEW guy too?
I am. I'm an MJF. I'm a big MJF fan.
Yeah.
Well, we won't see him for a while, but yeah.
Hey, was it Jeremy that said MJF was going to show up Sunday night?
I thought he was too.
That was his wild prediction. So I don't know.
I thought he was too.
We got lots to talk about. Let's talk about this card here. Let's start with night one. Opening match: Rhea Ripley over Becky Lynch in 17 minutes and 7 seconds. Man, I was really surprised here. I'm fine with Rhea keeping it, but I was just surprised. Looks like we had Kyle and Brandon had Rhea. Everybody else had Becky. How surprised were you guys that Rhea kept her title?
Not surprised at all.
Well, you picked Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I picked Becky, but I went back and did some brainstorming and researching, and I realized I think it was time for both her and her husband to take a break, enjoy themselves, enjoy the baby. Because you know how to think about it. Leading up to it, they talked about the baby down there every episode of Raw. You're a mother, you're a mother, you're a mother, you're a mother. And I think that was hints right there of saying they're gonna let her go be a mother as long as Seth gonna be a father for a while. So I kind of saw it come at the end during that match. I was like, you know what? Becky's about to lose. Seth about to lose. They're about to go off. So yeah, I saw it. And
I knew when they started making excuses about her strep throat and how sick she was. I was like, oh, she ain't winning this
Yeah,
one
said she had
if
102
they're
fever.
already playing.
They said she had 102 fever that day. That's insane.
Yeah,
like, and she went out there and still, if they hadn't have said that, I wouldn't have known it. So that's props to Becky Lynch there. I thought the match was good though. I mean, overall the
give me stars, Brett, because you keep saying good. What does good mean to you? Because
it wasn't a 5-star match. I think I liked the match. I think it was 3.5, 4-star match. I think it was solid. I enjoyed it. I was entertained. I mean, there were some things that were kind of a little bit for not one. I didn't have any matches that I really just didn't like terrible, but there were some that were maybe a bathroom break match, as our main KO would say. But I thought this match was really good. Both women were really, really intense. It was back and forth. I loved it. I got looking through this. Somebody was like that the electric chair spot was really good. And I was kind of looking through some of the people that were talking about it. I liked it. I think it's interesting that Rhea all of a sudden has long hair. I guess she got extensions or something. Maybe she's been growing it out, but I noticed her hair was really, really long, and so I think maybe the Judgment Day angle that we kind of thought may happen. Maybe they keep them together longer and they get stronger at this point. So we'll see. But no, I'm fine with it. I like Rhea as a champion. I just thought maybe that would be her time to relinquish it. But it makes sense why you say, like you said, that Seth Rollins took a beating. I mean, he took the biggest beating of any wrestler on the show. I mean, he got beat up every match. He lost both matches, and he came out and tried to help another match and got beat up again. I mean, poor guy needs a break.
Yeah.
What's crazy is he's only taking off 4 weeks. I thought it would be a lot longer than that. I thought he'd be out close to SummerSlam. He's only taking 4 weeks. I don't know about Becky, how long hers is going to be, but I expected, like I said, I picked Rhea because I just didn't think it was time to take it off of Rhea. And I didn't think Becky needed it right now. Becky's hot no matter what. And I just didn't think it was the right time to take it off of Rhea. And there was just no reason to right now. And I didn't think it was the right moment or the right opponent. Not that Becky doesn't make a good champion, just the timing wasn't right there. But they put on a good match. A lot of submissions, and Becky's finisher is a submission, but Rhea was getting into the submission game a lot in that match. A lot of then they were countering and getting to the ropes and pulling away from the ropes, and it was a really good technical match outside of what they normally do. So it was we got a good question here too. That's something we could talk about is Crisis 1 asked who will dethrone Rhea, and that's a good question. I would like to say Jade, but I don't know. We'll see.
Jade's on SmackDown currently. Well, you have to have a draft.
They announced last night. Yeah, they announced last night the draft is coming up. I think April 26th for SmackDown and April 29th for Raw. So when they'll start it.
We have a draft show, guys. Should have
Well, we could maybe kind of throw it in with our Dynasty review show because Dynasty's at the 21st. So,
there's your answer. He thinks Jade.
I don't know, but Jade's still real. The one problem with Jade is when Jade comes out, she's a star, but she's so green right now.
I'll tell you who it is, Brandon. Who it is?
It's gonna be.
It's Tiffy time, Brandon.
No, it's Liv Morgan.
Well, she attacked her.
Liv Morgan.
Tiffy time, Matt. Do you know Tiffy? That you know what time it's Tiffy time, man?
I hear it's Tiffy time, but I think we're going to start getting into my negativity on this because I'm going to take the under on your opinion. You gave it 3.5, 4 stars. I'd give it 2.5, 3. And again, strep throat. I can't imagine wrestling with strep throat. So I mean that just all respect to her for even putting on a 1-star match with strep throat, because I can handle a lot of illnesses, but if I have a sore throat, that's my ender right there.
Yeah.
But these two have the ability to put on 4- and 5-star matches, and this is what WrestleMania is supposed to be. We're supposed to get your 4- and 5-star match right here, and they didn't give it to me, and so I come across disappointed because I know what
you got to give them the break. They were 102 with strep throat. You just said you couldn't do that. You got to give them a little bump.
I can't. But when's the last time Rhea Ripley's had a good match? And she's a great wrestler.
I thought this was a good match.
She's had a good match?
I thought it was
last year. I mean,
I thought this was a good match.
Good match. I want a 4-star or above if I'm going to call it a good match.
I say,
5-star, 4.5.
I don't know.
5
I got to see your.
This is not a match we're going to be talking about.
You need to email me like a Google Doc of your star. How you get your star rating.
Will you be talking about this match in 2 months?
No.
You're not going to have anything you're going to remember about this match in 2 months.
Not at all.
It's just a match. You could have put it on Raw, and it would have been just the same.
Yeah. I could do you one better, Matt. I don't remember this match after night 1. I mean after it was over with. I moved on. Yeah. Just keeping it real. That match did not. That match did not excite me.
Another chat says her title reign has been underwhelming outside of the Judgment Day angle. I think that's what makes her title reign.
Really has.
I think that's what makes her
But
title
I think
reign.
she's carried the Judgment Day angle.
She has.
Hey, I will say this.
Carried a little bit too. The back and forth with.
I think that says less about her though, and more about that they don't have enough developed stars in the women's division right now. You know, with Sasha's left, Charlotte's gone, and then like Asuka and Bayley and them have been in something else away from her. So it's been all she's had, and she just now got a thing with Becky. The people she's been dealing with is Nia Jax, and like she hasn't had much around her to. So this is less about her and then more about what's been around her. I mean, you need someone to work with you.
Well,
I have a question.
The NXT girls there's a lot of good NXT girls.
I remember Nia.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I was just gonna say. What about Roxanne Perez? She had a pretty good showing last night. Is it time for her to come up?
Maybe the draft will bring her up. I think, and I don't watch NXT a whole lot. Brandon, you watch it some I believe, but the women's division is really good right now in NXT. From what I've I watch it once in a while. They've got a lot of good stars, and maybe that's where they need to go, and maybe get some of them against Rhea, because I think Raw, as far as the women's division, is a lot weaker than SmackDown. You got Bianca, you got Naomi, you've got Jade, you got a lot of good star talent on SmackDown. Now you have Bayley as the new champion. You've got Damage Control over there. You've got a lot of women over there. Raw, I mean,
and Tiffy time.
Yeah. I mean, who you got? Yeah, I mean, there's just not.
I'm gonna tell you one name. I'm gonna tell you one name on Raw that is really, really disappointing me. I don't know if they working or using her right. I don't know, but when she first got there, I thought she was gonna be a badass and a powerhouse. Now she's a lackey, and that's Zoe Stark. I thought Zoe was gonna be the next big thing. She's just a lackey to Shayna Baszler. So I wish they take Zoe and do something with Zoe, because she got the physique, she got the charisma, she got everything. So I hope they take her and do something with her, because she has the it factor. And like I said, when she first got there, she was just great. And then she got with Trish Stratus, and then she went down. Then she with Shayna, she went down. So I hope they give Zoe a really good push, because I think Zoe has that factor to be a champion.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say Zoe. I've never been a big Zoe person. She never stood out. I mean, she looks the part, but just her character never got with me. But Shayna's Baszler's another one that you always thought they were going to do, and then she's got this whole badass thing. I mean, she can, but they don't use it enough.
Well, and they don't have a lot of different characters with the women. Like, okay, Shayna Baszler's a badass. It's like Zoe Stark, Rhea Ripley's kind of that same. Like they're all the same character. They don't have any differential between. That's why I think, and I don't mean to keep harping on this, but I really think Tiffany Stratton, she's got it. She's got the gymnastics background. She's great in the ring. Her character is different. I've mentioned this before. She's kind of like the LA Knight of the women's division. Like the fans love her, hate her. They love her, even though she's a heel or whoever. They cheer for her. They like. She's got that charisma. Something just different, And so I think that's part of the reason why they're all the same character. Like they don't have any differentiation between them. Like Nia Jax is just a mean, beat you up. Like they don't have any character development for any of those girls. I think that's really what the problem is. I mean, I don't know, Matt. What do you think?
I feel like y'all are coming around to my way of thinking here. Now y'all are just crapping on the product like I am. And I'm going to take my steel chair to Brandon because one of the better matches I've seen in the last month, which I remember, was Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax when they went that last woman standing and they had spots, and that was a better WrestleMania match than what we got out here.
I didn't say that wasn't a good match. That was a good match, but Nia doesn't
That's
do a
what
lot of great
WrestleMania is
stuff.
supposed to be, Brandon. That's what WrestleMania is supposed to be, but they didn't even set it up to be a good match, even if she wasn't sick.
Yeah.
In fact, we had more build up with Nia and Becky than we did with Becky and
another problem with this story.
No story, and then you didn't even have a good match on top of it.
You had two stories going on, then you just shoved the other two of the characters out of the two different stories together for a match.
Yeah, that was the big problem with this too, because the story, because there was really not much of a story with Becky and Rhea.
It's just like Becky's like, hey,
Becky won the.
I want to challenge. I want to challenge you for the title. I'm going to challenge you.
Well, she won the Elimination Chamber, but
Elimination Chamber when everybody knew she was going to win. Basically, I mean, it was like
pretty much.
But they never spent time on their story. They did so much with Rhea and Nia's story, and then Liv Morgan's story, and that was So they never told a story with it.
And now it looks like Liv Morgan's going to be Rhea's next opponent, just from Raw.
Hey, so. I got one more question for this real quick. With the final boss being a board member, do you think he stick his cousin, the championship on his cousin at some point?
I mean, she will be a champion again someday. Yeah. And I still think her and Rhea have a story to finish, so we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Next match. The 6-team, was it the 6-pack challenge ladder match? Man, this was I love this match. This had some great spots. The winners of the match.
This is gonna hate it,
I didn't pick the winners. I didn't get the winners right. I hate Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. They bug me. I'm tired of seeing them on my TV. Now I got to listen to them on SmackDown every night. Oh, we're the tag team champ. I'm not ready for that. I do like the fact I didn't pick Awesome Truth, but I think it was a great. It was a great. R-Truth has done so much, and the Miz both working wise. Like the Miz has been pinned so many times. R-Truth has. Like they've been a great asset to the business, and I think this is I don't want to say it's a pattern, but I saw this a lot at this WrestleMania. You gave some guys that were just hardworking, like they deserved it, wins. Okay, I saw that in this match. Of course, Cody, we'll talk about that one. The Sami Zayn one. I mean, just a lot of those kind of Bailey's another example. Just doing a lot for I feel like this is Triple H paying them back for all the bad booking and the bad everything for years and years back. That's just my opinion. The match itself was great, though. I enjoyed this match. Give me some. All I needed was Matt's barbed wire fire tables in this match, and it would have been. But no, I love the ladder matches. I think they're great. I thought it was a cool twist that they split the titles this way. Very smart booking. It made sense, right? I mean, they could, it could have been like any other thing, and it would have been like, what are you doing? But it made sense. There's both sets of belts are hanging up. Whoever gets one gets those titles. Whoever gets the other, it was a great way to separate them. I'm glad they're separated. I think now, I know we kind of disagreed. Matt didn't think there was tag teams that were those. But I think now at least you have a chance to build some. You've got tag champions on each brand that now you can build up character storyline. Yeah, but the things to build storylines with. When you don't have belts on a show, like what are the tag teams there for, right? I mean, so at least now you've got something to build on. I think, I don't think Miz and R-Truth will keep the belts very long, but I think they deserve the win. I'm happy for them both. They've already kind of been now feuding back and forth with Judgment Day again. I don't know if I'm kind of tired of that. At some point, that'll kind of, Then you've got Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Be interested to see what they do with them as far as feuds go. But I'm excited for the opportunity to have some new feuds for 2 separate tag team belts.
Well, I'm gonna start by saying this. My girlfriend, who just all of a sudden just became a wrestling fan out of nowhere, because she watches with me. When she seen Grayson Waller, well, I saw. I've been doing wrestling for years, so I saw the setup when they put when they set the ladder up. So I knew it was gonna be somebody. So I waited on her to see it. When she saw him take that fall through that ladder, her eyes was just stuck. She was like this, like, wow. And they saw that was good. Like that was the move of the night. But the match itself, I get that match. Actually, I get that match a 4-star. It was a great ladder match. It wasn't an Edge and Christian versus the Hardys type of ladder match, but it was a great one. The team I expected to win won. A-Town Down Under. I said that, by the way. Awesome Truth. I didn't see that one coming. I thought it was going to be DX. I mean, DIY. I said that on purpose. And I really thought that for a minute, Judgment Day was really going to win back the Raw Championships. But Paul JD's like they stunt devil. Every time you look up, something happened to him and they expense. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, Paul JD, he's going to take a tumble. But I think overall the match was a great match. It could have been tweaked a little bit, could have been a little bit better. I do think if you added Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, you would have got a lot of more high flying and probably a lot of other crazy. I think the wasted people of the match, and I'm glad Cal not here, is the New Day. I think I speak for a lot of people out there in the tag team world. It's time. It's time to break them up. It's boring. It's stale. Nothing's fun no more.
It's merchandise.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing. Like nothing else is fun no more for the New Day.
Need some bootios.
I actually had me a box of those when it came out. I ordered them from Amazon. But but I'm saying, like, I just feel like it's getting stale with them. New Cash Republic, they did a hell of a job. They're going to be a great tag team around, as long as nobody don't get jealous and turn on each other. DIY, I don't know. Maybe it's best for them to go single too.
Hey, Swaggy, did you see whenever Gargano and Ciampa had those matches in NXT? Like they literally almost killed each other. Like
that's what I'm saying.
I see that coming down the road at some point, and they go back to that. It's been so long since they've done all those matches. I mean, they literally were pulling the mat up and like DDTing themselves on the wood, and like it's some insane matches back in the day with them. I know Diggs may not know NXT, he may not have seen those matches, but there were some close to 5-star matches. Close to 5-star matches there, Diggs.
They were.
I think Tommaso was a badass, man. He was a badass. You got to bring that back. I mean, he's like a mid-card joke now to me. There's a lot of superstars that was in NXT or like mid-card jokes now to me, and it like Karrion Kross, he was a badass. Now he's like a joke. It kills me.
Yeah,
like in NXT, like in NXT, nobody can mess with this dude. Like he scared people. Now he's a joke.
Yeah. All right, what'd you think about this match, Mr. Professor?
I didn't like it. It was a spot fest. I didn't like like the pacing of the championships. There was really no drama after that. It was just, there was no story. There was no match. Like you mentioned, the one big spot. I don't even remember it. Like somebody went through the ladder. You could see the ladder break prematurely. I'm just like, you can even see where they kind of pre-sawed it. At point, it was just disappointing. No story. But I will say, to give them credit, I am okay with R-Truth on Raw. I mean, that was a beautiful storytelling right there when they got in there and they're all showing off their titles. And then you got R-Truth going to Keith Lee right there, all of a sudden showing up in the background, belt back out there.
Brandon, what do you think?
First off, give props to Swaggy for saying A-Town Down Under. I also want to give props to Jeremy. He picked both of them right.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He had
I have the
DIY.
text.
He had DIY.
No. Jeremy picked Awesome Truth and A-Town Down Under. I have the text.
Well, I had a DIY. I read the text too. I wrote it down.
Oh wow!
No, I have it right here. He said Awesome Truth and A-Town Down Under.
That's not what I had. That's him.
Well, go back and look at the text.
I went back and read it.
I'll give Jeremy his credit there because he did. He said Awesome Truth, and then we told him 2 titles. He said, I guess A-Town Down Under for the second one because he didn't know they were splitting it.
It says all I saw was the Awesome Truth.
And then
I didn't see.
And then he said A-Town Down Under when we said they're splitting them. It's right under it. Yeah.
Brett. Reading comprehension is hard, my friend.
He said that was yours. He never really said that he picked it. He said, I feel like it could be their time if there are.
I read it as he picked Awesome Truth, A-Town Down Under. That stood out to me. I was like, that's pretty impressive to pick both.
I know what I did is I went down here and your pick was right below it, and I think
I said DIY.
Yeah,
I said DIY. I was wrong. I was totally wrong.
Since he got that one, he 3-way tied you and Kyle. Y'all had 10 correct. So.
Yeah, I had both wrong, but I was glad I was wrong. I thought it was
but
if he would show up on a show, then he could defend himself, But since Jeremy has gone MIA from the shows here lately, he can't tell us definitively what he chose. I'm sure he could tell us.
But back to the match, I thought it was a fun match. R-Truth, the National Treasure. I thought it was hilarious how he was outside of the ring, waiting to be tagged in. Did the moves from his childhood hero John Cena, and then that he used to watch on Saturday mornings. He says, and then Finn Balor
that's younger than him, right?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that.
No. We all know that, but hey, we gotta sell the bet. And then he pinned Finn Balor in a ladder match, and then they got DIY DX to do the sweet chin music and the pedigree. And,
they did.
But talk about New Catch Republic. Swaggy was talking about them. Tyler Bate did some. He had the one where he had Finn on the ladder above him, spinning him with there's some, and then Gargano had some really good spots. It wasn't a great match for DIY, but Gargano had some good spots. But I was getting annoyed there for a second. A-Town Down Under won the SmackDown, and then I thought they were about to go up and grab the others, and I was like, please don't tell me they're gonna split it and still this was all for nothing. That really would have ruined the match for me. But then when Awesome Truth won, it was a great moment. I thought it was a good match. Like I said, Dig still has to send me a Google Doc for star ratings because I don't know but I still wouldn't say, I don't know how many stars it was, but I thought it was a good match. I enjoyed it. And that's all that matters to me. Do I enjoy the match? Do I think it was good? And I thought it was entertaining. I didn't want to get up and turn the channel or nothing. So
it made a lot of sense. It made a lot of sense. You split the titles this way. You have a lot of cool spots. You get a lot of guys on the card. A lot of good things out of this match. I mean, it is what it's not. I mean, it's hard to star a ladder match because it's not really an actual wrestling match. Of course, how many matches do we have that were actual wrestling matches? I mean, the there was no rules at all. Let's just call this this pay-per-view like no rules, whatever. I mean, there was none of the matches had rules. As long as the Rock's around, I guess the referee's never going to call anything against him. I mean, he's got the referee on his payroll now. So there was actually 2 bloodline rule matches. We'll get into that one here. So, but I mean, as far as entertainment, I'm with Brandon. I if it entertains me and I don't want to go to the bathroom or change the channel, I want to stay watching. That's what I want. And I don't think you have to have storylines all the time for these kind of matches. Like, just give me some good wrestling with some good spots.
But with the R-Truth stuff, you do have a storyline. Like he's a story in itself. That's what.
Right. Well, that is not like, but nobody in the match he had a storyline with really. So, but after the match, they did a good job of. Well, yeah, I guess a little bit. They've been going back and forth, but I mean, it wasn't the interaction afterwards was what I enjoyed more than the interaction in the match, really.
Yeah, I get that.
So, all right. Next match was the match that kind of changed on us last minute. We were all really excited about this match. I know Matt was. Rey Mysterio and Andrade defeat Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio, and we all missed this match. Brandon, we should have stayed with our guns. We had this one correct. You would have won the overall picks, Brandon, if we hadn't changed.
I was never picking Rey.
Yeah, you did. You originally, I have it down. Like me and you, we both picked first, and we picked Rey. And then someone said something, and then you changed your mind, and then I finally caved in.
I'm sorry, Brandon.
But I almost changed back. I almost changed back Saturday when I heard.
Because I had it marked out because you had this, and then we got our minds changed. So we all
changed back when I heard Andrade was taking. But then I'm gonna be Debbie Downer with Matt on this one. I wasn't excited for the match, and then Andrade coming in, I was like, oh well, it's better than Dragon Lee. But I was like, okay, we're getting some kind of turn. Either Carlito's turning on Rey because I felt like Carlito turned on Dragon Lee. And then Carlito's mad because Carlito thought he was going to step in, and then Andre takes I was like either Carlito's turning or Andrade's turning, and we get no turns. There's not a good match.
Hey, we got some new Lucha Libres, Brandon. We got some new ones.
Yeah,
Jason Kelsey
I expected to see Jason Kelsey. We saw the East Texas guy that Diggs is from Houston.
Lane Johnson.
Yeah,
he's from East Texas, but Diggs probably thinks he's from Houston. And
there we go. No, he's going to claim for DFW. If it's a good place, it's DFW.
Where do you think Groveton's located? What region is it?
Groveton's East
Okay,
Texas.
I'm glad you agree. I thought you might call it Houston or College Station or something.
But I would say Silsbee's Houston area.
No, Silsbee's like Golden Triangle, isn't it?
Silsbee Beaumont.
Yeah, Golden
Triangle ain't real either.
Silsbee 409 Beaumont.
Yeah, Golden Triangle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that ain't real. They don't. It's like Texoma. That ain't real. You can't call that.
I just
like if I ask you what's your top 5 6A teams, you can't answer me. We don't. We're done.
That's easy.
Is Plano East one of those? Oh wait, no, they're not good at football. My bad.
I can say
Brandon's lucky I let Tyler Legacy stay in.
But anyway, it was an awful match, but it was cool to see Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson.
I don't know. I don't understand. Like, I guess it was just to get those guys in. Rey pinning somebody. I mean, does he really need that at this point? I mean, I thought for sure once we started discussing the match and it made sense. Okay, Rey won last year, so we just continue to bury Dom. I mean, I guess he didn't pin Dom. He actually pinned Santos. I don't know. I don't know if this was the LWO and the Gato del Fantasma thing just keep going forever and ever. Infinity. We have the Libre faction just keep going at it. Back. I don't know. I wish one would just take over the other, and maybe we have a match and the winner takes everybody, and they got to work for the other one or something out of this. I don't know. I'm kind of tired and over it.
Hey, Brett, I thought to text you the minute Dragon Lee got hurt on SmackDown. and tell you, you know what I said, because I thought that was gonna be the moment he got hurt. I thought that was gonna be an angle to make him come out and turn. So I was like, you know what, it's gonna happen. He's gonna actually come out and turn, but that didn't happen. Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey saved the day. But overall, my my assessment on this match, 1 star, boring. It was my nachos match. Like I went in and made my nachos on that match. I came back, they were still going. I was like, oh yeah, that was boring.
And it was 11 minutes and 50 seconds on that time of that match. I mean, it was probably 10 minutes too long.
Yeah, I agree.
I should have texted you when they changed it on Friday night, because you could kind of see it telegraphed at that point that it was going to be Rey and Andrade winning after that. So that's on me for not seeing the writing on the wall. It was a bad stuff. And this is, what I'm hoping to see is, like, back in the day, if you would have had these side rivalries like we saw with the Final Testament and whoever's the Street Profits and this, they put them in War Games. I mean, they would have done something where you would have highlighted this match and let them go out there and put a 4 or 5 star match on and just let them. That's how Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys and Dudley's got themselves over, as just mid card talent who got to shine and who were put on the big stage. It's crap.
Terrible. It was terrible. Like Cal Owens would say, this was a bathroom break, and more than that, it was a shower, and probably go walk the dog and everything, and come back and it's over with for me.
Yeah,
it sucked.
I think we've talked about it probably more than it deserved. So let's move on. Jey Uso defeats Jimmy Uso, 11 minutes and 13 seconds on the time on that match. I'll be honest, I was really excited for this match, but it just didn't do it for me, guys. I didn't necessarily like it. I don't know. I was wanting more. I thought we might go in the stands, like do some crazy stuff. Like, I didn't get what I was thinking. It's brother versus brother that hate each other. They turned on each other already. Like WrestleMania. Like, I don't know. We all knew Jimmy was going to be like, oh, please. Oh, I'm let's be friends now. That was so. Why would you fall for that after everything that he's done to you? Just that didn't make sense at all. Jay gets the win, but obviously this is going to continue, and they kind of try to interrupt another match later and went at it again. That was actually, I enjoyed the spot off the stage later in WrestleMania more than I did the entire match. I'm just saying. So that's I guess I'm a diggy downer on this match. I'm gonna call that a diggy downer.
So far, y'all are almost all agreeing with me, and I hope I can explain this, how it's in my brain. But you even went back to talking about Tommaso Ciampa and his really good matches at NXT. It's like you can write a main event match, like the way they wrote those NXT matches, the way Jay versus Roman was written in the production value, and they were fantastic. And this match was not written like that. If it was written and produced like that, it could have been a really, really good match with that. If you put that Brett and Owen kind of pacing and near falls and stuff, they had the chops to make this a really good match, and they booked it like a Raw match as just something, a throwaway kind of a thing. So incredibly disappointing, especially because both of those kids can go. I mean, both of those guys can wrestle and really do amazing things, and we just didn't get to see it, and that's disappointing from a production value.
I was expecting Go ahead. I was expecting a Wembley 92 SummerSlam Brett versus Bulldog type of match. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting a fall to the finish, like near fall, I win. Super Kick City, it didn't get it for me. I mean, leave that to the Young Bucks on AEW. Super Kick City, it sucked. Like, you get a super kick. You get one. Okay, now watch this. How many times in a match we have saw someone get a super kick and they fall completely to the ground? Here comes super kick. I'm standing up. I'll take another one. You sold it bad. WWE they missed a spot. They missed a chance. They dropped the ball completely with this match. And I'm gonna tell you why. Also, this was your chance to bring the daddy into this. You bring Rikishi into this. You could have debuted the other son. Is it what's his name? I forgot his name.
Jacob, I think.
Jacob. You could have debuted him
Or
to join
is it Jacob?
somebody's side. Yes, this was your chance to build this storyline better. Like all this hype. Put like this. It reminded me of a Mike Tyson fight back in the days where you hype for it. You got your popcorn. You ready, and you go round one, fight. Boom. Oh man, it's over. That's how I felt about that match. Like I was like 1, 2, 3. That's it. Sucked. So if Cal was here, I'll tell him this was the bathroom break match. We just didn't know it.
Yeah, so I agree with Diggs and Swaggy here. I didn't enjoy the match. I did like the package going. It's just, because like Brett said before, like leading up, we always thought it was going to be an awesome match. Then they showed the package, and we're like, oh man, like it juices you up, that package they show, and then Lil Wayne comes out, and I mean you're like hyped up. But here's the problem: they have the same. It's a difference than when Owen and Brett, because they still had different movesets. Jay and Jimmy have the exact same moveset. There's no reason this should have been just a regular wrestling match. This is the match where you have Bubba Ray Dudley as the referee and you do a street fight. I know they already had the other one planned.
Yeah, let them go all over the arena. Let them beat
fight.
them.
You have Bubba Ray Dudley who had a brother tag team, and this is where you put him in. You have a street fight. You do tables. You do everything. The storytelling still, even in a terrible match, the storytelling was still great because we had the story built in, and the storytelling still. That's what the only reason it wasn't for me a bathroom break, because even as bad as the match was, I wanted to see the story being told through and see who won. But the match was terrible because they didn't book it right, like Diggs said, and this should have been a no holds barred match, and you can't have two people with exact same. And also, Jay, we've seen his singles main event, Jey Uso. We've seen him we haven't seen much singles from Jimmy yet, and we still don't know if they can go together. And we've seen Jay going by himself. We haven't seen it from Jimmy yet, and I don't know if we ever will. Jay, we have seen it. Jimmy may be a tag team guy, and some people are in that, but Jay has a chance to do something, but it didn't work there.
Well, here's how I felt about this match, and just in a scenario. Okay, let me play this out for you real quick. So it's like you're getting ready for this big date with this hot girl, right?
What's the toe situation? Call back to last year.
I don't know about that, but the ugly sister shows up, and you're disappointed.
I agree.
You're get hyped up, and you're like, man, this is it. This could be the one. I'm so excited, and then you get there, and it's like total letdown.
Dude, I can tell you
that's.
I was in front of my TV like this, like when it first came up on the screen, like up next we got I was like, yes, here we go. I've been waiting for this, and I'm all crunk. Lil Wayne come out there. I'm like, okay, and my girlfriend was like, oh babe, they got Lil Wayne, and I was just so excited. And the match started, I was just like, oh man, it's gonna be boring. It's gonna be boring. And that's just how I felt the whole match. I was interested in the whole match. I was just watching like, it's like I'm ready for this tag team match later on. That's how I felt.
That was the best part, guys. Was the
end. And then when McAfee does it, I just lose it.
I love McAfee. I love McAfee.
He's great.
He had my girlfriend laughing the whole weekend. That dude is funny.
All right, next match on the card, the 6-woman tag match. Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi defeat Damage Control, 9 minutes and 38 seconds. I don't know. This was a way to debut Jade. Honestly, this match was all about her. We kind of all knew that Damage Control was going to win. I think we all had this one correct on.
We all picked the winners, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it is what it was. I mean, a way to get more people on the card. it wasn't a terrible match, but it wasn't like it was kind of an okay match. It was better than it's been the last match that we just talked about. I think it was because I didn't expect as much. But Jade got her moves in. You got her on WrestleMania. I thought the way they did the now are they trying to put them like the Avengers or something? What is that? She's the hair the Storm hair. She had like looked like the actual Storm character. I don't know. That was kind of interesting.
I was getting Beyonce vibes out of that.
Beyonce? Okay. I don't know.
But
that was a little strange.
You notice something I noticed while we talking about this? I've noticed everyone that came back to WWE was a part of WrestleMania, including like Naomi. So I'm starting to think that was part of the contract rules when everybody signed back, like Naomi, Andrade, who else? It was somebody else signed back. But I think everybody signed back or signed like, okay, you will be a part of this year's WrestleMania because that match absolutely sucked, and it sucked bad. It was terrible.
Oh, Matt's agreeing with
It was terrible. I was uninterested. Like, this is what I did. I can't find it. Well, I grabbed my PlayStation Portal. I turned my game on, and I played my game while that match was on. And when it finished, I turned my game off. That match sucked. It sucked bad. Like you said, Brett, it was just to get Jade out there. That was it. And I think Cal said it best last week. Paul Bianca. What are they doing with her? Where's this going? She has to take a heel turn. Bailey the champion now, so she has to make a heel turn because other than that, she going another direction. That's not good because you go from being a main event star to a mid card lackey to Jade Cargill being the feature. I mean, yeah.
Maybe you think. How about this? How about this, Swaggy? How about everybody's talking about Jade. She finally gets jealous. Say, hey, I'm the original, and she turns on Jade, and we get a Jade versus Bianca match. I sign me up for that.
I love it.
Sign me up.
Like I said, you have to somebody. You gotta make a heel turn. Somebody gotta make a heel turn because it's other than that, it sucked. That match sucked. I'm sorry, it sucked.
The good thing about this match, it was only 8 minutes long. Brett had like 9 something. Everything I saw said like 8:03 because I saw people complaining that wasn't longer. I was like, it was long enough.
9:38. 9:38 is what I have here.
But, you know, all I could think about during this match, Wingstop, because they kept showing they had it all over the place. And we hadn't talked about that yet, but this was the first TKO Premium Live event. We saw a lot more advertisements than they were on the LED boards. They had the Prime Hydration Station. They had the Dude Wipes poles. They had everything. And so,
all right.
So, but the other thing we're talking about Bianca. The only thing I remember from her in this match is the one time she hit Asuka and you could hit with her hair. And you could hear that. I think I'd actually started to fall asleep, and then I heard that, and I woke back up, and then I saw Wingstop again.
Oh!
All right, Diggs. How bad was it? Diggs? Go ahead and tell us.
It's hilarious that y'all are basically all agreeing with me. I mean, we're basically we're down to the last 2 matches, and
WrestleMania
within
is a
1 star,
event.
y'all all agreed with me.
WrestleMania is a 2-night event, Diggs.
It is a 2-night event, but at the end of the day, you could remember on some of the really good WrestleManias, Randy Savage and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is where Jimmy and Jay were back then. I mean, there are memorable undercard matches in a lot of other WrestleManias if you let them go. And it was either you or KO who was excited about this match because of the wrestling quality you were expecting to get out of this. Let these kids go and let's watch it. And we don't get it. I
thought it'd be a little more entertaining, but I knew there was no story. I wasn't excited about the match. I did think that the wrestling would be a little better than it was. I thought we'd get a little more action, but it was bland.
So,
but no story, not a good match, just another disappointment.
So,
but after this,
Uh-oh. We lost Brandon a second.
Oh,
there.
Brandon.
You lost me.
What'd you say,
There
Brandon?
you go.
Well, you said after. I think you said something along the lines of after this it picks up. I'm thinking.
Well, I
that's what
said
you
after
said,
this
but-
match, there's not many I'm gonna be disappointed in after this.
Yeah. So since we agreed kind of that was kind of more of a dud, let's go on to the next match. I'm going to call this the shocker of the weekend to me. They put Sami Zayn over on Gunther. 666-day reign is over. Sami defeats Gunther in 15 minutes and 40 seconds to win the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I think Diggs I know how Diggs thinks. There may have been too much unbelievability in this match for Mr. For Diggs. Is that am I correct there, Matt? I know there was a lot of like Sammy took like 18 things and he was still ticking and he could. I don't know. There was a lot. I just knew he wasn't going to win because he kept taking shot after shot after shot after shot, and but man, that brain buster on the top buckle to kind of finish him off before the liver kick, that was nasty.
Yeah,
It was, and to me that saved it, because when you can pull out something like that is just something he hasn't seen yet, it made it all make sense at that point, and KO's got that kind of skill set where he can do something crazy every once a year, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I see you, KO, and so I was okay with it. And I thought it was a good match, so I've no problem. I was surprised. I agree. It was the shocker, but it was booked in a way where I believed it. So.
Go ahead. One of you guys.
So you're talking about the buckle bomb. That was Sammy's move before he came to WWE, and he hasn't done it. WWE, they banned it. And I don't know who signed off on him to do it, but so I wouldn't expect. We weren't expecting it because we haven't seen it from him yet. But that used to be his thing. Like, that was his move in other places. El Generico, and that was his thing. And but WWE banned it, never let him use it, and it caught it. And when he hit that, I was like, it's over. I mean, he won. But the thing that maybe shifted for me, I never thought Sammy had a chance. But when Kevin met him at the entrance, I was like, oh man, Sammy may win this now. And I still was like hesitant, but I was like, that kind of, I don't know, there was something about that moment that started. It's like, I think Sammy's got a chance now. But then throughout the match, I just couldn't. I was like, he's gonna come close a lot of times. It's gonna be a lot of false finishes, but he's just not gonna be able to do it. And then hit the buckle bomb, and he pulled it off, and Gunther's reign is over, and I can't wait to see what they do with Gunther next, because I want to see him pretty soon. I just gotta we'll see what happens after the draft and which direction is, if it's Damian Priest or if it's Cody Rhodes.
Well, I'm gonna say this. They sold me. They sold me good, because when he kissed his wife and his son, I was already emotional then. When he actually won, the tears start coming down my face. I'm not gonna say it for a lot of you guys, because I was just like I said, they sold. It's an act, but like I said, they sold me on the story of him being the underdog, and I was just like, he actually beats this guy. But I think overall the match was great. I got it rated as my second best match of the night. Besides the main event, I think it was the best second best match on Saturday night. I'm looking forward to that match also, but I was also looking forward to seeing Chad Gable turn heel and causing the match, which I'm glad it didn't happen. But I do see it coming down the line. But I'm glad that Sammy won. It was emotional. I felt just so happy for him. It was just a lot of joy for him. So yeah.
As much as Sammy did for the company, I mean, he was as instrumental to the Bloodline story there for a while as any of the actual members of the Bloodline currently. I mean, when he kind of got involved with them, it kind of gave a new aspect, and he never really thought he was in it, and then finally he was, and then he finally basically just had enough of him and turned. And he got his moment last year with Kevin, but this, as far as a single title, he got that moment this year. I thought that's one of the matches. I thought they did a lot of that sentimental, like, hey, thanks for all you did for the company over the last years.
Yeah.
Here's your WrestleMania moment. He got it by himself, which I thought that was cool because as much as Kevin did for the storyline, it was Sammy that really that bloodline storyline for probably a good year. He helped carry that. So I was happy for him, but I was totally shocked. I did not see them taking this title off of him this way. And looks like Gable, came out and helped him. Right now, he's still been buddy with him, but now they're going to have a match. I think it's next Monday on Raw.
That's
That's
when the heel turn coming.
1-on-1. Well, I mean, they're fighting, so I mean, maybe he loses and then he gets mad again and turns on him for real. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But yeah, I was surprised, but I'm okay with it because, like we've talked about, eventually that Gunther had outgrown that title. He needs to go. He needs to go for one of the bigger belts, and now you've got somebody to throw up against Cody Rhodes or Damian Priest. Now we'll see where they go. All right, the main event.
Did
guys.
Diggs talk about this match?
Yeah,
I liked it.
Okay, I never heard you say
Diggs
that.
I did. Like I talked about, it was believable. And we got on to the buckle bomb.
Oh, yeah.
See, when I'm nice, I'm very forgettable, I guess.
He's not used to you saying nice.
I forgot. I heard you. I forgot your opinion of the match. Okay.
Yeah. He was the first one to talk about it.
I know. I followed him up.
All right, main event. I will call this the Rock's rules match because basically the Rock threatens the referee. Basically turned it into a no DQ match. I mean, he said don't count out, and this is where I was like, I mean, we kind of all knew where it was going. Like, oh, okay, so this is going to be another Bloodline rules match, basically. So, but this match was great. I enjoyed every minute of it. Even though I knew who was going to win, I was excited about how it was going to happen, who was going to come out. I was kind of just waiting for something to happen all throughout this match. But I will give The Rock his props, man. I think he went through a 10 or 12 week training session. That's what I heard. He did great work in this match. I mean, what is he, 50, mid-50s or something now? I don't know the exact age of him, but I mean, he looked in great shape. And this match, 44 minutes and 38 seconds, guys. This wasn't a 15-minute match. And with the tag matches, they are down, they lay down, they rest or whatever. But man, the rock bottom through the announcer table, and then the spear right through the wall back to back. I was like, wow, this is just, I didn't know where it was going, but I thought it was a really cool moment. But then they let the Rock pin get the pin there. I thought that was interesting. I thought it might be Roman get one last pin, but they gave it to the Rock over Cody Rhodes. And I will say, since this is the only match that the Rock was technically he interfered with another match later, but the story they got going with the Rock, I know Matt caught the first part of Raw, so you saw that. I'm already excited about that. I mean, they did a super good job. You don't know when he's coming back. You got to tune in every week. When's he going to come back to challenge Cody Rhodes? He got to hold the belt. He's teasing that he wants a title match.
Well, no, he's gone until, because he's got the 2 movies. He'll be gone at least to August.
Oh, there's dirt sheet Brandon. There's where it is, Matt. Right there.
No, he even said it last night. He said, I have to go. I'll be back.
He has to go, but he didn't say how long.
No, but he said
you've read his whole production schedule for 2024.
He's been on. It's The Rock. He's on everything. He's talking. He's on the McAfee show. He's on. Now he's got his movies out. He's talked about those. So it was always the plan.
I knew he was going to be
Yeah,
out.
but
I didn't know what the
But
time
I would think
exactly,
Rock
but-
Cody at SummerSlam. I saw some things today about possibly next year Mania, but I want Rock Roman at Mania. Give us Rock Cody at SummerSlam, and give it next year at Mania. Give us
Well-
Cody Cena and Rock Roman.
So I don't know. I'm leaning now. Like I'm excited about the Rock's things. I don't know what he gave him in his hand. I'm kind of curious about what that was, but what was about.
I know what it was.
You don't know what it
I know what it was.
And
Triple H gave a hint. Did you watch the press conference, WrestleMania press conference?
Some of it, yeah.
Triple H gave a hint what that was. Dusty pawned a watch long time ago to I think he did it to feed them. It was something he did it for his family. And Triple H had said on the thing, he said, we all got together, including The Rock. The whole board got together and they went and bought a watch similar to that. And he said, I'm gonna give it to Cody. And that's what The Rock did. He reached this, that's why he balled his hand up like this, nobody can see it. And he gave it to him, he stuck him in his pocket. If you go back and look at it, you can see the watch like in Cody's pocket. You can see it. So it was that watch. That's why The Rock said, don't break my heart. Meaning, don't sell this watch or don't lose this watch. So it was the watch.
Okay.
But
the swaggy scoop.
but my testament of the thing, let's go from the beginning. Like, if you smell, when I saw them bulls light up and that stage light up, I was like, I knew this guy was going to come out fire. And when he came out, there it is. When he rose up and threw that fire, and they showed that whole bull on fire, I was like, oh my God. And then it switched to the Hollywood thing. I was like, Entrance of the Night. He did it. Entrance of the Night. He did it. I knew then. And then his attire was just so, man, it was off the chain. So I knew from there, this is gonna be Rock's night. But overall, the match was good, like you said. The match was great. I think all four competitors did good. You could tell that Seth is not 100%. He wasn't. No matter how much he tried to downplay and say he was 100% ready for WrestleMania, he wasn't. He just didn't want to miss it, and I respect him for that. But it was a great match. Roman, they all did good. The Rock had to pin Cody. It had to end that way. But I really did think he was going to take the belt and give it to Mama Rose with the blood on it. He disappointed me. He didn't do that.
I did think it was cool in the match.
Mama Rhodes.
I did think it was cool in the match when Cody hit the rock bottom on the Rock on the table. I thought that was pretty cool. And
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun match. Obviously long entrances, long match. I knew it was gonna be long when it started before or started right around like 9 o'clock. Like I was like this pay-per-view was just flying by, and so I was like, this one's gonna take a while. Which I mean, it needed to. It was a great story, great match. They've been building for it, and they delivered part of the story to get to the rest of the story. But they told the story that needed to be told in this match, and outside of the belt and the blood part. But other than that, he did use that belt, and it stopped Cody's trifecta of Crossroads. We'll harken back on that a little later too. But yeah, it was just I thought it was a fun match, and it was a WrestleMania main event match, and it delivered, and we got to see The Rock. We're all around that same age range. We grew up watching wrestling, in that time, and we all probably geeked out. Because they said something funny. You know who the Rock's last match was against? Did y'all hear that? Who the Rock's last match was against?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. But
yes.
So yeah,
it
was cool to see The Rock back in the ring, and looks like we're gonna get it again. But this was the introduction back, and he looked great.
Man, it was. I like the way they built the storyline here, and then they used it to springboard into the main event the next night, and they finished one story, but now they're starting another one already. They've spun it out. They've got something else built that's ready to go. They didn't even talk about Roman Reigns, what he's going to do. They've got the other brother or cousin that's coming in. They've got something more they can do with the bloodline. I feel like maybe Paul Heyman, maybe they kind of start their own away. Romans goes away. I've heard maybe he comes back as a face once he comes back. I mean, there's so many things they can do with this. Like maybe The Rock says, "Oh, you lost the title. You're no longer head of the table anymore." He takes over the bloodline, and then Roman Reigns comes back, and now he's the underdog. Everyone's going to be excited to see him again, and he get to me as long as he's been the champion and the big heel, he's still been getting cheers. I mean, so I think that they could do that, and there's so many things that they can do with this, and that's what I love so much. And I know Matt, you'll agree with me. We talk about the actual storyline so much that there's nothing that. Why do we care about matches? This is what we want to see. There's so many ways they can go with this, and I have a lot more confidence than I did a year ago of what they can do with this match. We've already seen the improvements.
And we talk, a lot of people are talking about this as the Triple H era, and this is it's going to probably come across negatively, but I'm going to go ahead and say I thought this was a 5-star match. I loved it. We'll remember it for years. I mean, this was probably maybe up until Sunday night the best match over the 2-night WrestleMania era. So I have nothing but platitudes to say for it. But when you consider the fact that with intros, and you said it was 44 minutes, and you probably had about 20 minutes of intros, you had over an hour invested into this, and I'm fine. It was a great hour of television. Couldn't you give Jimmy and Jay 25 minutes? I mean, and let them go. It's just disappointing that how much was relatively put into this when you could have, but you could have done it with other things. And maybe this is the new thing, because when Brett's breaking down Sunday night, he's going to tell us how long that was, and it's going to be a big number there. And then you think of Monday Night Raw. The first segment got 45 minutes of that when you had that, and you have these super extended things, and they're all entertaining. I'm not complaining about that, but if you start to invest that level of infrastructure in the other stuff, you're going to have an incredible product.
I agree.
Well, when you're the final boss, Matt, you can have as long of segments as you want.
True.
I have no problem with the links. I'm just saying, now invest that into the other stuff, and now we're going to have old school, amazing WrestleManias.
Yeah.
So I think this was you talked about the match. This was the first real match for The Rock in 11 years. We talked. I think it was 8 years ago. That's when he had the little, whatnot match. I think it was 8 to 15 seconds, somewhere in there, really quick. But I got through with this match, guys, and I was like, oh, I gotta wait till tomorrow for the rest. Oh, I was so ready for the next night already. And when we looked at the cards originally, I mean, they had the back end stack. This night, we rolling the night too, man. Man, I was just so pumped for this night. There was this first match.
I want to stop you, Brett, for just a second, because since we're going sequential and stuff, I at least want to share, and I don't know if you three have an opinion on this. I watched the pre-shows, and I was thoroughly entertained by the pre-shows. Yeah. I was really, and the fact that you had Cole and McAfee from that first hour, it really got me hyped for wrestling. Both nights, I was really. I
enjoyed CM Punk on the pre-show. They did a good job of utilizing, Big E. Is Big E? I mean, hopefully he'll get cleared soon to come back. I mean, I'd love to.
Rosenberg, all of them.
Yeah, they did a good job. So I thought, they actually had, which is new. I'll tell you, this is new. They had Michael Cole and Pat McAfee in the pre-show for the first hour, and then they transitioned and had. Is that new? That's not normal, right? They've never done that before. I don't think.
They've never
right?
done that before. And it
Which I
gave
thought that
that
was
like that
interesting.
college game day. This is a big field. You know, you got your Kurt Herbstreit out there pitching this, and I
Before
really
he doesn't
enjoyed.
call the game. Yeah, I'd like that. That was awesome.
And again,
'Cause
I enjoyed that more than probably the middle 2 hours of the actual show. You know, the pre-show was better on both nights than the middle 2 hours of both of the shows. So
I'm
I
just glad
just
that
wanted to throw that out there to the extent if a WWE executive is listening to this and cares
Of
what
course
the
you
professor thinks. I really enjoyed the pre-shows.
well, at least they didn't have like one of those matches like you know, somebody two people you don't care about throw
Right.
in. That's what they used to do. That the pre-show was just more
Like
matches.
Sean Spears
Like,
on Stand and
Oh my
Deliver. He got
God.
the
Yeah.
pre-show.
That was boring.
They bring him back and he gets he starts jobbing out.
Yes. I was like, damn, this is boring. I would yes.
Man, this night 2, we're rolling into that first match. Drew McIntyre defeats Seth Rollins in 10 minutes and 38 seconds to win the world title. When I read that, it felt longer than that. Like I was into this match. I was sucked in. Like I wasn't sure how they were going to do it. There was lots of ways they could go. They could have Seth. They both kill each other. Seth squeaks away. Then they have the cash in. They're both out there. Priest comes in and makes it a triple threat match. I really did think the cash in was happening. I just, he only has a year to do it. There's not much time left. What bigger moment to have it? Of course, and he gets his moment. Drew McIntyre comes out. But the way they did it told more stories, and I loved it. Guys, I just you had Punk out there in commentary. I loved having him on commentary. Of course, he can talk to a wall, and it's entertaining to me. But he was out there. McIntyre comes over. He's gloating. He won. He's basking in the moment here, and he's trying to push any button he can on Punk. Finally pushes the wrong one. Punk comes up. Then he takes his brace off his arm and whacks him with it. And then you hear Priest music hit. And I'm like, oh my goodness, here we go. He's about to lose this. I don't know if it's the shortest title reign in history, but it's got to be one of the shortest. I think he actually had the belt for around 5 minutes because the celebration was really long. They did give him a long time to celebrate. It wasn't immediate. He sat over there and teased for a while. And then the fact that he lost it, and now we have another story. They're really pushing that Punk. They've got to have Drew McIntyre signed, right? I mean, you would think. Now they've got a hot ticket CM Punk McIntyre feud just waiting for us. We'll see how long they stretch it out. Maybe that's SummerSlam. Maybe Punk can't. Maybe it's SummerSlam, but you've got Priest, a new champion. You've got Rollins now can sit back and rest a little bit. Then he can come back in the picture. You've got a McIntyre Punk feud all in this one match. Love this match. One of my favorites. I mean, there was a lot of favorites, but this was one of my favorites. I loved it.
I'm gonna start by saying this. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna start by saying this about that match. I think the Great Cal said it last week. Drew was gonna win and lose, but after what I saw on Raw last night, with Priest as the champion, and then R-Truth and them interrupting, and Priest just went on like nothing. I don't see a long-term situation with this. It's almost like a job that you get working for a temp service or something. They'd be like, hey, this job is going to be only 30 days. So in 30 days, you're not going to be here no matter what. Like, and that's how I felt about that match. Drew McIntyre will win the championship in Scotland. He has to. And I think he knows that too. So that's why he was pretty much all right with the cash in. I think the concept of it, he been complaining all for weeks and weeks how he never won. He didn't get to win in front of a live crowd. I think that was the whole concept. Win in front of a live crowd, then lose it. Win it back in front of a live crowd in your hometown, in front of your fans, where nobody's gonna boo you. They're gonna be for you the whole night. It's gonna be like John Cena went into ECW to face Rob Van Dam that night, and they was on his butt. Like, they was going crazy. Like, if Cena wins, we ride. So that's how I think it's gonna be in Scotland with Drew McIntyre. So I think Damian Priest's reign will come to an end in Scotland because, like I said, I don't like last night. Like I said last night, I didn't see nothing exciting about him being champion. I mean, maybe he needs to break away from Judgment Day to see the excitement. Maybe it's going to take a Finn Balor turn or Rhea Ripley, uh, a battle of the sexes, who's the real leader of the group because they both champions. But it like his reign going to be a little stale. And I was just looking forward to McIntyre winning it back. But overall, the match was great. Like I said before, with Seth Rollins, you can tell that he was just like, he was tired, man. Like, he's worn out. From night one to night two, he's worn out. Like, he's, with wrestling in general, like, he needs a break. McIntyre carried that match for them. I really thought that Priest was going to cash in a little earlier and help carry that match, but that didn't happen. But like you said, Brett, the moment he went up, when he kissed his wife and he was celebrating with the crowd, and I was just like, I told my girlfriend, I was just like, please don't let them say blah 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 blah, and then they go off the screen. Because that means no cash in. That means he gonna do it on Cody Rhodes instead. But he looked over there and see him Punk with that eye. Then he walked over there. I said, baby, this is where I'm gonna get my moment. And she's like, what is the cash in? I said, you're gonna see. Just keep watching. And so he walked over there, started talking that noise. I said, baby, Damien is coming. He's coming. And you were like, who is? She was like, who is Damien? This thing, you know, when Punk grabbed his leg and made him fall and got up and took that brace off and hit him with it. I said, baby, 3, 2, 1. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, there you go. And she was like, what is he doing? What is he doing? Like, he finna cash in. And Damien was like, I'm cashing in now. And he won a championship. I was just like, when I heard that 1, 2, 3, I just jumped. I was like, thank you, God. This is over with. No longer send your money in the bank. That stuff is gone now. He won the title. Let's get it over with. And let's get ready for a new money in the bank. So I was just excited about that part, that the money in the bank got cashed in finally. And oh man, thank God. That was it.
I knew when they announced that this was going to lead off the show, it's like, well, Seth's he just finished not too long ago getting battered by the Rock and Roman, and they got him. He's going to lose, and it's still, Seth still shows how great he is, and it took multiple claymores. It wasn't one claymore, two. It was several claymores. I love this version of Drew. He tried to do the GTS right in front of Punk. He failed at it, but he just he had some funny tweets during Seth's match Saturday night. He was at home watching, just kind of yucking it up, kind of making fun of Seth. And then he tweets during the match Sunday night while he's winning. You see him with the phone, and then like 2 minutes later, you see the tweet come across. He's like, "This is the easiest job ever," and he wins. So when he won though, because he did, Seth did put up a fight, but it didn't take much out of Drew. So I was thinking, okay, he won so clean, we're not getting the cash in. And then I love how they told the story though, where he went and taunted Punk, and Punk did his thing, and we did get the cash in. But I was worried for a second we weren't, and then I just didn't know where we'd go from there. But we did get the cash in. We'll see on Damian Priest, but I love, and I don't want to give too much away, but I love what they're doing with Drew and what's coming next with Drew. I don't want to give too much away to some people that don't know, but
yeah,
Drew's got a lot coming. It's gonna be fun.
They did a good job with it. It did what it needed.
I agree with Swaggy as far as Damien probably being a transition champion, maybe even a transition champion to Gunther. I mean, I could see it being that quick, just him and out. Y'all pretty much said it all, but at least I want to share my thoughts on just kind of the redemption arc of Seth Rollins throughout all of this, because even from that entrance, that Mardi Gras-like entrance, I know is their Philadelphia thing, I love that entrance, and even Pat McAfee, all them yucking it up as all those people were running around giving them high. I loved all of that aspect of it. And then at the end,
did you get Adam Rose vibes though? That's what I got.
a little bit with
but
that.
it was better.
But then even at the end,
The
you had
Rosebud.
Seth in tears. Yeah. You had Seth in tears pointing at him saying, "You deserve this." I mean, every aspect of what Seth did, even in losses throughout these 2 nights, was just complete gold. So real MVP performance out of Seth throughout this whole thing.
I agree.
And we also, Diggs, you don't, but we also do know Damien's first opponent in defense. We found that out last night. I mean, it's Backlash is a throwaway pay-per-view, premium live event anyway. We know that, so we don't really get title changes on there. I don't know. I hope that's not the main event, but we'll see how they build that card. But
yeah, we'll see. Be interesting. It's an interesting main event. You definitely need to check that out when we get off, Matt. It's worth the watch. All right. So next up on the card here was I don't want to say. Yeah, I'm going to say it. The worst match of the night, from my opinion. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits defeated Final Testament 8 minutes and 35 seconds. Okay, I can see it, Matt. I'm assuming you agree with me there. This was a bad match for you.
Yeah, and again, it had the opportunity to be so good, and they just don't let him go. And oh man, I would have loved if we got to hear New Jack music or something, and then just let them go throughout the stadium with New Jack music playing, Natural Born Killers play. I would have loved that. Just give me 10 minutes of that, 3-way cuts and all that with Bubba. But again, we just got such a cheesy match with Snoop Dogg basically being the highlight of it. It's like they said, okay, you can't have a good match because we're going to have Snoop Dogg on there.
We don't want to overshadow.
So disappointing.
They don't want to overshadow him, right? I mean,
that's why it wasn't a bathroom break match, because I had to hear I couldn't miss what Snoop was going to say, because you just have no idea. With him and McAfee and Corey Graves there, you never know what's going to be said, so you got to catch every second of it. And
did you make that extra long cut on the table so it would collapse like that before you got it through? That was really seeing that happen.
Yeah.
In a live like that.
What did Snoop say? We got a defective picnic table is what he said or something.
Yeah.
But
that was funny. That was funny.
The match was not good, but I did like, we got Bubba, we got the Waza, we got the get the tables, and it was it was the shtick match of the night, kind of like the Ray and them the night before. Not a good match. Just let's get a couple of shticks in and send them home.
It was a comedy match for me. It was like more,
I think for me, what really just did it for me, man, and I'm pretty sure I want y'all coach this too. I've seen a lot of matches where Montez Ford will jump over the rope and hit somebody, and they'll be down for like a couple of minutes. How in the hell is AOP down for 10 plus minutes off their move?
It's because they're trying to protect AOP. They didn't want them to take the pin, I guess. I don't know.
Like Karrion Kross took like a 7-minute, probably like a 5-minute beating, and they still didn't get up. So I was just like, and my girlfriend kept screaming. She was just like, "There's no way they still down like that." I say they are, and I think that right there just made that match suck.
Yeah, BFAB got involved there, and as they Charlotte got in there, I mean, that was a pretty nasty bump they took.
I think BFAB and Scarlett, I think they stole the match. If you ask me, that one move stole the whole match. That was a highlight of the match when they went to that table. Other than that, it sucks. It sucks bad.
Man.
Where Matt go?
Yeah, he left the building for a minute, I guess.
Okay,
he'll be back. All right, he probably took a bathroom break because we were talking about this match.
I ain't mad at him.
Yeah.
Next match up, LA Knight. Yeah, talk to me. Defeated
Yeah.
AJ Styles 12 minutes and 31 seconds. I thought this match was fine. I mean, this match had one of the better builds. Like, I like the build with this where, LA Knight goes to AJ Styles' house and he because I had to catch up on some of this because I got behind. So I caught up over the last week or so and got arrested and like some of the stuff that, man, WWE hasn't done a lot of this lately here, like where they would film some stuff off site. Some stuff that I really like. Maybe I want to say like TNA and some of the other companies do a lot more of this kind of thing than WWE does. But this to me makes it more realistic. Like LA Knight is so ticked off that he went all the way to AJ Styles' house to get him some. Like they don't like each other. And so the match was pretty good. I mean, I liked it fine. It was good. I mean, to me,
Give me stars, Brett.
Stars.
What is this?
3.5 stars for me, somewhere in there. It was fine. I liked it. Okay. I wanted more from this match. Really, this is another one of those where I could have just said, "Hey, let's have a no rules match," because these guys literally wanted to just kill each other. Like, let's go in the stand and chairs. Let's fight through the crowd. Let's, I don't know. I think that would have been more appropriate since one of the stuff that we saw leading up to this match. Maybe that's why I was disappointed. I was enjoying the brawls at AJ Styles' house and the attacks in the back and like all that stuff. And then we go to a regular wrestling match, and it's like I'm just feel like something's missing. These guys literally, you're telling me they literally want to kill each other, and we just have a regular wrestling match. Like this is an opportunity. Let's have a steel cage match, Hell in a Cell. Let's have TLC. Give me something. And maybe that's why I was disappointed. I thought the wrestling match was fine, but I think I was looking for more in the feud. The way they really did a good job leading up to it in this feud, kind of maybe similar to the Usos, not with a different, kind of the same thing. Like the blood feud they had. These guys, they might as well have a blood feud. I mean, they did a really good job of selling this match. I know, Matt. Is that what you're kind of thinking too? Or I mean, you're shaking your head there, or nodding your head.
I've got a theory for you, and I think this is kind of a big picture thing. LA Knight for me has lost a little bit of his edge because we all know he's The Rock. I mean, he is The Rock light and the Attitude Era throwback. And now that we actually got the real Rock doing amazing things, it kind of makes LA Knight look bad, like a very cheap ripoff right from there. Because not only do you have that, you have him pivoting and turning into this final boss character and showing us how to do it, dropping F-bombs, just left and right, blood and all that kind of stuff. And then you got LA Knight just going, yeah, and going and having these little, fake brawls or whatnot. It just seems like a kiddie version of The Rock and that reality that we're seeing on the main event. So I feel like LA Knight's kind of basically been pushed down because of how good The Rock is. And like, you don't want to put them next to each other because it shows how bad LA Knight is.
Well, I think there's two dudes in professional wrestling right now that is Rock wannabes. One of them is LA Knight, and one of them is Absolute Ricky Starks. Both of those are Rock wannabes. And like you said, The Rock came back and showed him how it's done. Like he transitioned into the final boss. Like, man, that move was nice. But
speaking of that, Swag, you just reminded me of something. I want to get you guys' opinion on this, or see if you've seen this. They're going to release on, I think it's Wednesday on YouTube, the behind the scenes.
Yes.
They transition like when what they were originally going to do didn't work, and they just transition into what their storytelling is now on that with the Rock Road stuff.
They kind of audible.
I'm really excited to see that.
Me too.
And something that probably wouldn't have happened in a pre-Triple H era. Vince McMahon was going to do what he wanted to do. He wasn't going to listen. And so it didn't go the way they thought it would. They transitioned to it, and I think it's done something even greater than what they were going to do. And it's extended it. So now you've got more things you can do with this and make it last longer. I'm really excited about that. That just reminded me when you said that's coming out Wednesday, and I'm really looking forward to that. Maybe we all can watch it and talk about that as our off-topic segment next time we get together, because I'm really looking forward to seeing what all they talked about and how much they're going to tell us, because this is stuff that they probably wouldn't have told us before either. With the press conferences and some of the stuff that they're kind of putting out there now, they're giving us more of a behind-the-scenes look than they ever really have. And so I'm really excited about getting to see that.
I agree.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
But I'm
Tell us what a great match it was, Brandon, because I'm ready to go.
I agree with you, Matt. The only thing I have to say on this is I was just happy for LA Knight. He's 41 years old. He's been trying to get to this point. First WrestleMania, he gets a win. I was happy for LA Knight. He had good work in TNA as Eli Drake. He had good work other places. He comes into NXT and was doing really well, but then they start going to a shift where instead of the guys from other companies and stuff, they're starting to go to the college athletes, and he almost gets kind of pushed aside and left in the dust there. They change his whole character. They turn him into Max Dupree and the Max Male models, and that was just going to be a disaster from the beginning. And to see where he's come from, and now to see where he is, I was just happy for LA not to get that moment.
all I can think about is Mansoor and old boy just modeling.
Man, those poor guys. What was it? What was the other one? The tall black guy's name? He just got the bad. They ruined that. What was their group with Ali? They could have made that so cool, and they ruined that.
Retribution. And 3 years ago, that was the Raw After Mania ending. Dijak tweeted about that last night. He's like, that was and it was terrible. But yeah,
they could have done so much with that. They had really good wrestlers and and they ruined it. Like they just took a dump on it and ruined it. I mean, it was.
Yeah, I agree.
Friday nights during football.
I mean,
season.
I was hooked. Like, who is this? Who is this group? Like, who is in charge? Like, I was hooked on it. And then it came out and they were okay for a week. And then they started letting them get beat down. They're like they ruined it. That was one of those angles like that I just was so excited about. And they just did that was back when we always talked about. They did their normal WWE and they ruined it. That thing.
Same thing would be said for Almas. You ain't seen them on TV in I don't know how long.
Oh, that's Kyle's favorite, Omos. Hey, but Big Bronson Reed was back on the TV though.
Yeah, he won the Andre the Giant. Yeah. I thought of KO when that happened.
See, that's my point. You just made, Matt. See, the Andre need to be on WrestleMania. Like that could be a part of WrestleMania again, like it was when it first started.
We could have traded one of these matches out for that. Exactly. I'm pretty sure.
We'll give him Rey Mysterio in the match or anybody match for at a heartbeat. Because
see, I could have done that in the pre-show. I would have been fine with having that in the pre-show. That kind of match is fine. I mean, I just don't want to see like just a squash match or somebody that I don't want to see that. But Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, I would be fine with that on the pre-show. That's good television.
I think though, if you're gonna do that, do it on the pre-show Saturday, and it gets you into one of the matches on Sunday.
I like that because then it gives a little bit of a reason to watch it and a reason to want to win it.
Yeah, I agree.
But they have to put something on that SmackDown because that SmackDown's kind of that's the only thing on there outside of a couple promos. They've got to have something on that SmackDown too. Because they're wanting to sell a big gate for that. And if you don't have nothing on there, people aren't going to go when.
Hey, but it's 17 consecutive sellouts, Brandon. They still would have gone. Right now, it's hot. Yeah. Hey, I'm a part of that, by the way. Just so you guys know, I'm a part of that consecutive sellouts.
Yes, you are. You made it.
Well, when you put the Hall of Fame on there, they're going to go to that regardless if you just
but
have
you still gotta have
anything.
You still gotta have some kind of match, and so I'm fine with them having it there. But
all right. Well, the next match was the United States Championship match, a triple threat. Logan Paul with the win over Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Uncle Kevin, sorry, Kyle, did not get the win. In 17 minutes, 38 seconds. Man, there's your Brandon. You were the only one that got this one correct, Brandon. This is the one that kind of puts you ahead there for not two. You did steal not two. You had the most, but man, this was a great match though. I mean, I loved it. I liked the way they just beat the living crap out of Logan Paul at first, and then finally they had to finally fight each other. You saw Randy Orton try to sneak one in, try to sneak an RKO in. I really enjoyed this match. I'm not a fan of Logan Paul. I like his work. He just annoys me. I guess he's a great heel. He annoys me, and I get tired of seeing him on my TV every week. But it is what it is. I guess he does good heel work, but I could take him and Austin Theory and Grayson Waller and put them in a room and just shut them away. I'd be okay with that. They're very annoying. I don't know what is.
Again, Brett, give me stars. You said this was a great
I think
match.
a 4-star in this match. I enjoyed this match. I really did. I thought it was a solid match.
I want to start with this one because I'm laughing for a reason over here. There's a person in this match that stole the whole show that wasn't even involved in the match. Pat McAfee stole the show when KR Speed got RKO'd. That was the fun. He was like, "Is he dead?" Like, it was hilarious, man. He has not moved. Like, McAfee stole that. He stole that match. Like, his commentary stole that entire match to me. The match itself was all right. Like you said, you knew Orton and Owens was going to fight at some point. They had to. I didn't like how they took my interest away from me because I'm a big Randy Orton fan, and I love to see that slow walk down to the ring. I feel like get on the golf course with Kevin Owens ride down. It kind of just took it away, man. Like,
that was funny though. It was funny. I think it was funny because like Randy Orton thought he was scared, like he was gonna fall off the golf cart. It was kind of funny. He was like, "Whoa!" Kevin Owens took off in that thing, and he looked like he was scared for his life there for a minute. But it was a little different. But I thought it was the comedy part of it was, and I think it's kind of sold the opening story. Like, okay, it's them two versus Logan Paul. They're coming in together. They're riding the golf cart together. Kind of okay, so it's 2-on-1 here for a minute. But eventually, it broke out and they went against each other. But I don't. The reason I don't like Logan Paul, and I feel like this is the way the Miz was for a while. They don't make him look strong. He has to win with brass knucks. He has to win with someone interfering. Like he's not he can't win a match without cheating. And I'm okay with that. He's a heel at some point. But at some point, can he win a match like legitimately, like beat somebody? Like his move to me is brass knucks. Like what's his move? The big punch, I guess. I don't know. That's one thing that bothers me.
I got some breaking news. We have new NXT Tag Team Champions.
Oh, hey! Spoiler alert!
Spoiler! Wow!
I don't normally get to watch the Thursday morning.
Oh, spoiler alert!
Hey, but he didn't tell me who it is. He didn't tell me who it is. So.
Well, if you know who's fighting,
don't tell us who
fighting. I guess you probably already know. Then.
Well, maybe it's a fatal 4-way. We'll see.
Yeah, man.
But hey, but that's actually. I'm intrigued now to see what now they do with Braun, because Braun's already come up. Now we'll go with and Draft's coming up, and then to see where they would go with Baron Corbin from here. So
Baron Corbin needs to stay on NXT.
Yeah, but yeah,
I will tell you. I'll give you one more spoiler. I'm not gonna say who it is, but let's just say one of the WrestleMania feuds is finally over because one of those people are now in NXT. Thank you, God.
Okay.
Oh.
I look forward to seeing it.
Man, you're making me want to watch NXT tonight now, Swaggy.
NXT has been getting better and better.
Download it up.
I was happy as hell to see him. I looked up and saw, oh my God, they're NXT. Yes.
Okay. Swaggy talking. Swaggy got me intrigued.
Yeah, I'm interested.
I had to look up and see it. I was like, yes.
Shawn Michaels needs to hire Swaggy as his his like hype man.
There you go.
But Brett, I'll give this a 3.5 star, 3 to 3.5 stars, just a little bit below you.
We're on.
It was a good match. But again, like you were talking about, and it really annoyed me, WrestleMania is not the time you have Logan Paul when you either put him over and show this guy can go or he loses. And you didn't do that. You just perpetuated this, kind of a cheap win kind of a thing. And I didn't like that.
I get tired of I like a good heel that likes to cheat every once in a while, but at some point he's got to win fair. I mean, if he's good. You got to sell that your guy is there's a reason he's the champion. And it seemed like every time we turn around, Logan Paul's cheating. I mean, and he can go in the ring. It's what's so sad. Like, he is really good in the ring, like crazy good for the amount of time he's trained. They need to use that. Like, let's let him have a cool move that he's got as his finisher. Like, he hits it and that's it. Maybe he cheats a little bit, like maybe he pokes his eye or something, but then he hits a big move on him and finishes him off instead of like, let's hit him with a brass knucks and then that's over. He can still cheat, but let's give him some legitimacy with like a cool finisher that's like a legit, really awesome move. That's what I want to see that.
Well, he did.
Let me say this to Logan real quick. Hey, Logan, if you are watching this show by chance some kind of way, your prime drink is awesome. I love it. I tried it today for the first time.
Brandon's got it with him. He's got some.
That's my favorite one right here. That's pop.
Yes. I take Prime over Red Bull any day now. Prime is number one. I drank a Prime this morning, y'all. I've been on cloud 9 ever since. Like,
do the energy drink.
Yeah, sponsor us. Like, that's Prime Energy. That'd be a nice sponsor for the office.
Yeah, I don't do the energy. I just do the hydration drink.
Hey, that track had me growing today. I was at work working hard. I was like, wow. Thank you, Logan. Yeah, Dix. Yeah.
Man, Sonic. Yeah.
Hey, Brett, you need to get on the phone with them and get them to be a co-ed under Azalea.
Okay. Sonic. We can do that. We can do Sonic for Off the Ropes. Yeah. Awesome.
Sonic.
All right, Brandon, what do you think about the match?
Well, first, I really like Logan Paul's entrance. I thought that, kept riding on the Prime bottle on the Prime truck.
Yeah.
The bottle shoots some stuff, and we finally got some pyro. We didn't get hardly any pyro that first night. I don't know if it's because it's outside and windy but so we finally got some pyro, got some stuff there. I picked Logan Paul. And I had a little thing before the Sammy match. Same thing. Sammy greets Kevin coming out, and I was like, oh no, I think Kevin's gonna win. Like, I started to get that little feeling that Kevin might win because they did that same. They harkened back to it, and Sammy was like, "Hey, you got this." And but you were talking about the Logan Paul thing. He used the nuts, but he used them pretty early in the he danced, and then he finished it with a legit finishing move, and he needed a finishing move from Kevin on the ring, and he used their finishers to set up his finisher, and then got him out of the way. But I mean, he's got the frog splash. He's got
splash.
But he gets up. He's aerial.
I know, but it's just like that. The frog splash to me is just like it's not a finisher. It's a finisher back when
Eddie Guerrero
in the 90s or whatever. That's kind of like what is it? Pedigree doesn't finish anybody anymore. Triple H put people away with the pedigree for 20 years, and now a pedigree up. That's a kick out at one. That's not even. It doesn't.
That's true, right?
But he used the Nux in this match, but he didn't win with the Nux. The Nux were way before the
I
finish.
know. I just get tired of the Nux. It's like that's his like go-to thing every time. Let's just get the Nux out and knock people out.
But another thing, and I could tell it wasn't KSI this time because it wasn't big enough. KSI is a big dude. I was like, that's not KSI. I didn't know who was in there. Even then, when the mask comes off, like when they show his face, I still didn't know who it was. My 6-year-old son had to tell me. My 6-year-old son sitting back there because I was like, "Who is that?" He goes, "That's Osho Speed." And I was like, "How do you know that?" He said, "He's a YouTuber."
I had no idea who it was either. I was like, "Who is that?"
Yeah, my son had to tell me who it was, and
I don't know if that's good or bad, Brandon.
yeah. We'll cross that bridge another time. But I looked him up, and he's got a huge following. So he's got like 50-something million on YouTube.
So he needs to follow our podcast as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got a cool Ronaldo car. So.
One more thing about Logan before we got this. You have to realize this. The WWE is with that situation, they're making a real smart business decision. I'm gonna tell you why. You got Jake Paul and Tyson coming up. You gotta have Logan as your champion head into that because that's gonna bring you more revenue. Exactly. So that's why I believe Logan is still champion.
Well, also they had the Prime Hydration Station there. They had his logo in the middle. Like this was the first PLE. It's gonna be on for everyone, so he's not gonna win every match. But this is the first PLE with his sponsorship everywhere. I was like, they're not gonna have him lose. And SummerSlam's in his hometown. I think he takes the belt into SummerSlam. He may lose it there, but he's gonna take it into Cleveland. But also the one other last thing on this match that surprised me that we didn't get an A-Town Down interference. I thought it was a given that they would show up during a triple threat match. I thought it was a given they would show up, but
they pieced out. They got their belts. They're out.
I know.
I went to celebrate.
But that was the night before.
Saturday. That was funny.
Yeah, I thought they would be there.
They were run after that golf course. That was hilarious.
Oh man! All right, the next match. One of my favorite moments of the weekend is Bayley defeats Io Sky 14 minutes and 26 seconds to win the WWE Women's Championship. There was one thing about this match that I did not like, and it was the intro. I wanted this intro. I wanted the old school Bayley, and they disappointed me with some crappy entrance that they've given her. She needs this back. She needs this entrance. So WWE, if you're watching, please bring back the old school Bayley song and whatever that was they gave her. I just didn't enjoy the entrance. The only thing about the match I didn't like, it was as close to a perfect match as you could find. The storytelling coming in, obviously the story told itself. Both Io and Bayley can go in the ring. I mean, it wasn't a 5, but it was a 4.5 to me. I enjoyed this match thoroughly. It story, it had in ring, and Bayley gets her moment at WrestleMania, which much deserved. As watching all the matches that she puts on, I think she's one of the most underrated workers in the ring too. Like some of the matches I've seen, they haven't let her really go a whole lot lately, but she got to show a little bit in this match. Of course, Io can go, and I just really enjoyed this one. It was one of my favorite moments of the weekend.
It was a great match overall. I enjoyed it. I thought it'd be more outside interference, but it was a one-on-one match. They went the right route. The right person won. SmackDown gonna be interesting Friday night.
I mean, Brett, I love everything you said, but you always oversell these things. Calling that a 4.5 star match, it was good. I mean, to be clear, it was good. I think maybe our scales are just a little bit off. I'd say 3.5, 4. It was probably the right there tied for, other than the main events, second or third best match of the card. Way better than Rhea and Rhea and Becky. So I really enjoyed the match. It was a good, solid championship match to get us to the main event. It's kind of what you want to see in that spot, kind of like you saw Gunter and Sammy the night before. Was probably the second best match of Saturday. I think this was definitely the second best match of maybe right. It was a different kind of match than Drew and in that whole thing, but it was still really enjoyable.
I thought at first I thought I was going to agree with Diggs a lot there, and I did at first, and then I didn't think it was the second best match of the night. I mean, I thought it was a good match. I thought, you said it wasn't a good. I thought it got the match placement kind of hurt it, and I just because at that point you're just kind of itching for Cody and them, and I think the match and the crowd was really dead during this match. And we didn't talk about that. The crowd was really dead on Saturday.
They were dead because they wanted this, Brandon. Yeah. If they had played this intro, that would have livened the crowd. They would have been going crazy.
Also,
I think it would have too.
Io does some flying around stuff. I don't know. I'm not Io just kind of like, yeah, she's genius of the sky, but just I don't know. There's something about her. I don't know. I can't.
Don't be like that. I mean, I know she's Japanese, Brandon, but don't.
Look, I'd much rather see Asuka and Bayley. No, I like Asuka, but
yeah,
but I don't. There's something about.
I think the story told a lot of this, though. I think the build up and the
story looks great, but I thought the match could have been a little bit better, and I thought I'd have liked a different spot of the night. I thought they kind of got robbed by where it was.
Where would you have put it, though? I mean. That's the problem.
I'm fine. Like, yeah. See, I like it worked for Sammy the night before. I wouldn't want to be before the main event.
So maybe it. But see, I guess you have to separate the. Well, you don't because the guys would. If it had been Saturday, it might have been. I thought
you have at least one women's match on Sunday.
Yeah, I know, but maybe you could have put that on Saturday. It might have been a little bit. Because there was a few bombs on Saturday, honestly.
Well, yeah, I'm
Sunday's card was so good. I think that's part of the reason why it kind of.
You only had 6 matches on Sunday too. It was just like it was bang, bang, bang.
And I may be a little impartial because I'm just a big Bayley fan.
I like Bayley too, and I thought Bayley did great. I just I guess it's more. Yeah, I thought Bayley did great. I just outside of one moonsault, I don't remember much from Io. Just I thought Bayley was great.
I do wish that she'd go back to like the Bayley to belly. I don't like the rose plan.
She did do the Bayley to belly though. She didn't finish with it. She did finish with the rose one, but she did do the Bayley to belly twice. Yeah.
I don't like the rose plan. It looks weird to me. It doesn't look effective. I don't like that move. I wish she'd get a different move. But
it's like a sideways skull crusher finale.
Just kind of it looks a little odd, but either way, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was so excited that they went that way. And again, like we've talked about, SmackDown is loaded with talents. There's a line of them. Of course, we don't know who's going to be on what show.
Yeah, we only got 3 weeks of that. Like we can't think about that now because we'll find out a whole new roster in 3 weeks.
Yeah, so there's.
I got a challenge for you, Brandon. This is just me and you. No fireworks. I'm not going to put anything in your hand here or call you out. If you go to my Twitter, like one of my most recent tweets was a tweet from I subtweeted or retweeted somebody, and it's like a GIF account where they really like break down some things. And if you go to that person's account and you go look, like kind of scroll back, they do a whole thing on this Bayley and Io match. And like if you look at some of the subtle things that Io did in this match that you may not have picked up, like just her facial expressions, like during the Bayley to belly and at the beginning, it might give you a whole new appreciation for the match because Io did some really special things that just go under the radar because she doesn't speak English very well.
I definitely did that. I think I was just and I'm sure other people were the same way. Is you had the Logan match, you had the stuff that happened there, and then you're just so hyped up for Cody Roman. It's like I probably didn't give the match as much of a chance because, and I'm probably not the only one. And I didn't dislike the match. I just wouldn't say it was the second best of the night. That was my thing, and I didn't think it was a bad match, but it also didn't pump me up.
And when I say it was the second best, I mean I think the whole story of that first match. But like Swaggy said, it wasn't a great match. It was Drew beating the hell out of of Seth, and a lot of big finishes, and then it just kind of ended after like 18 claymores or whatever it was for the ender. This was a solid, like what you would see on AEW, just a really good match. And I think you underestimate, and I understand when I went back and kind of watched that thread, you really see how Io is a really good saleswoman with her facial expressions. You just kind of miss it in the moment, but there are some really neat things that if you go back and kind of isolate it, she did some really nice things.
I'll check it out.
It's something to consider, a challenge, if you will.
I'll definitely check it out. I like to get the different perspective, but I just go off what I see live. Like referees, we make a bad call maybe, but I didn't have the hindsight of going to the monitor.
Yeah, I'm intrigued now. I may have to go back and check that out too.
Yeah.
All right. The main event of the weekend. Cody Rhodes defeats Roman Reigns and ends the 1,316-day title reign. Something we will probably never see again in our lifetime. Chances are probably very slim to none that'll ever happen. Man, this was incredible. Just the whole match. I was like, this, and I think Brandon said it. I think somebody sent it to me that this was insane. Is that you that sent that to me, Brandon? Are you posted? This was insane. Is like when you were talking about this match. Like, I just was like, and the part was I knew there was going to be people interfere.
Oh yeah,
you at the edge of your feet. Like they actually let them go for a while, like back and forth. Like they went and it was great. I enjoyed it. I was intrigued because I was just knew something was going to happen. With the bloodline rules, when was it going to happen first? Well, you had the Usos come out, and they just went over the edge into a table. You're like, oh my gosh. And that's when I thought, well, that was their that was their moment of the weekend. It wasn't their match. It was that. And then you just had interference after interference. I think the rumor was they tried to get Stone Cold for the Undertaker spot, I think. But the Undertaker spot was like, I was like, oh my goodness. I wasn't expecting him to come out. And the John Cena or The Rock moment again, that was cool. I mean, just so many things they told stories with inside this match. Just a perfect ending to this. I'm not even going to call it story. This is a chapter. Turn the page. Cody Rhodes has so much more to do. He's got this. Now we know this is done. And I think for me, I'm glad it happened now so that we can be surprised on the next chapter. Like we all knew kind of this was, of course, we thought this last year. You can go back and watch it. We thought that was going to happen last year. It didn't. Now it's happened. He's got the belt. What other stories can they tell with this? There's so many more. Because if you think about it, he's been back in the WWE. Was it been 3 years? But he was out for part of that time too. Was it been 2? He was out for a lot of that time, injured. He had the 18 matches with Seth Rollins, but really, other than that, with the Reigns and Rollins, that was it. Well, besides the little Shinsuke spot in there this last summer, but I mean, he hasn't really had many opponents. Like he's got all these feuds that are sitting there waiting, and so I'm excited. They've already set up The Rock down the line. I'm excited where this goes, but man, this is if there's a 5-star match, Professor, this was it right here.
I'm going to take the microphone early, and I'm going to acknowledge Swaggy, and I'll let y'all talk more about some of the bigger details because I'm not a Roman Reigns fan. I know Swaggy is, and you can throw your ones up and all this and whatnot. I've been tired of him for 2 years, and I was tired of him. I was one of the ones chanting "F you" at the Philadelphia, after WrestleMania after he beat the Undertaker, and people were tired. I have not liked Roman Reigns. I think he's been pushed down our throat, and the quality of both matches that he did was fantastic. And sometimes you can tell from people like you're going to lose because you just don't go in like Brock and Goldberg like 10 years ago. They didn't want to be there. They're just going out. He gave us everything. He looked great. I mean, he looked like he could, like the best shape he's been in a while. Thank you, Roman. You gave us great entertainment. You sold that as if you were going to go in there and win. His commentary throughout the match, his confidence, the fact that he could do that and know he was losing. My respect increased for Roman despite not liking him in these two performances. I was really impressed with what he did.
I think I'm gonna go next. I think for me about Roman, what I love about him the most, like you said, he talked noise through the whole match, and it makes it so entertaining for his saying like he'll look at Paul be like he really think he can beat me, and Paul be like you're the tribal chief, like it just he sells it. In his match against Cody, he just kept hitting him and like you'll never win, or like it was just like so. But I think the highlight of the night out of all the interferences was one, and it got me on the edge of my seat when I was sitting there watching all the interferences happen. When I heard Shield, Echo, Delta, dun, 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 I said, if I see Seth Rollins on that side, and if I see Dean Ambrose on that side, I'm gonna lose my damn mind. But it says it was Seth Rollins by himself. But a lot of people don't understand the concept of what that segment meant. I had a lot of wrestling buddies that I've been getting to it with for the last 2 days. And they're like, it was stupid for him to just come and get hit in the back with a chair. I said, no. You got to understand that segment. That was Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins closing the chapter of the Shield for good because Ambrose never coming back. So we never say never because CM Punk came back. But that was a Shield closing chapter. But watch this, Brandon. See, you get this one. You remember on Raw?
I was about to bring it up. Yeah.
Seth Rollins said, I will be your shield.
Yep.
He was his shield. That's what that meant.
No,
so
right when it happened, I was like, that's exactly, yep.
I'll be your shield. So he took the hit. Roman could have easily hit Cody and won. But he said, you know what? This is my opportunity to get for payback for all these years. And he finally got a chance to hit him.
Roman's ego got him.
His ego causing. Exactly. But other than that, you knew The Rock was coming at some point. When that music hit, but I'm not gonna say up here a lot of y'all on this panel. When that music did hit, I did thought he gonna get in the ring and look at John Cena and look away from John Cena and grab his cousin and rock bottom him. I did thought that was gonna happen, but unfortunately it didn't. But when he started talking that noise, I'm the final boss. I was like, nah, I think Rock gonna stay in Bloodline character. I don't think he gonna turn. So, but Undertaker came out. I think that moment could have been bigger because you just grabbed the Rock and chokeslammed him. I think you should have set up a little fist fight a little bit first and then do the chokeslam. But we knew Solo was gonna come out. We knew that. I mean, who didn't know that? But John Cena, AAU and him through a table, that was needed.
Well, he couldn't put him out because Solo put him out of action.
Yeah.
So I never closing that little story there.
So there's a high percentage chance you might see that match at Backlash. That's a possibility. That could happen. But I just thought it would be a lot more interference than what it was. I thought it would be. But the one music I was looking for, because Triple H gave a hint Saturday night. He said Brock Lesnar is not fired. He's just at home being Brock. I just knew I was going to hear and I was like, he's coming. But unfortunately, he didn't come. But overall, that match was definitely a 5-star match. I watched it again on my lunch break at work today. As a matter of fact, I took my lunch and watched that match because I love the Rock entrance, of course, from other night. But that match was great. I think Cody did great. I think the ending was super great. It was emotional. It had me crying. Everybody in the ring with him, it had me really teared up, emotional. Brandy, the father-in-law is battling the disease. His mom. It was just emotional. I'm trying not to show no tears on here because I started thinking about it again. I envisioned this when I was at work last week because I like to envision things when it comes to wrestling. And I'm sitting there at my desk and I'm like, all I want to hear Sunday night at the end is Kingdom playing, and Cody Rhodes is celebrating with the championship, and I just heard the words to the song all over again. Lights go down, ready now. I was just like, and that's exactly what I heard Sunday night at the end. Like, oh my God, Kingdom is playing. Like Cody is actually the champion, and I just kept screaming at my girlfriend, like, he did it. He finished the story, and she was just like, "What is the story?" And they go back. She's like, "What is the story?" I'm like, it's his dad won the championship a long time ago, and he had it took. Why did Dusty lose that championship again, y'all? Was it y'all remember?
He never won the WWE champ. He won the NWA championships, but he never
Oh,
won.
okay.
Yeah, it was like the one that eluded him. That's why Cody Rhodes wanted it so bad.
And she was, ladies, they like asking questions. Babe, why is he kissing the ring? I said that's a tribute to his dad, and that's a tribute to him also saying he's back home where he shouldn't have never left.
Well,
But I
I
just felt
think
like
he had to leave. He wouldn't be the wrestler
not at
if
all.
he hadn't left because they were content to keep him in Stardust and what was the one he wore the mask where it was his face? What was that?
Dashing Cody Rhodes.
Rose. Yeah, they had all kinds of the funny characters for him, and I mean, okay. I liked him in the ring, but I never really liked any of his characters. His best one was when he was with uh was it Randy Orton
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
DiBiase?
DiBiase's son.
Yeah,
Legacy. Yeah.
Legacy. I like that. I like that. That was the best they used him. But then they, I mean, if he hadn't never left, he wouldn't be what he is right now. And I'm glad that when he came back, they let him keep his character basically because a lot of times WWE doesn't let him do that, and they did. He immediately was. You could just tell he was a star, like from the moment he came back. And
Yeah, I was there that night. I was hella happy when I heard that they were like Seth Rollins waiting on his opponent and like doom. I said that's Cody Rhodes. The Nightmare showed up. I was like, I was jumped out my seat. I was happy. But I think the last thing I want to say about the main event, this was the perfect time to let Orton come out and be a part of that interference and get some retribution. I'm disappointed they let him come out and RKO somebody, a Roman or Solo or Jimmy, for what they done to him. So
he came out and
that's
celebrated, though. He did get to come out. I did like the fact that all the people that kind of had Roman had and the bloodline had, harmed or taken not everybody, but a lot of the ones recently that they had, taken out and had tried to knock him off, all came out and celebrated. I thought that was really cool. Had to put him up on his shoulders, basically like he was and had won the war for him, basically over the bloodline, kind of ending the bloodline's reign. We'll see if they reincarnate as something different. I think it's a very good possibility with the was it Tamatanga is also rumored to be signed. So they could have some new, and I think as long as it's got some new blood, I think the bloodline story, as long as they can continue to make it something new, I'm fine with it continuing. They had it was getting really stale for a while. They brought Solo in and injected some more life into it when he showed up. So if they can do some more with it, especially with The Rock now, maybe he takes over it like we kind of talked about earlier. I'm really intrigued on where they're going to go. Like Paul Heyman, you just put him in the Hall of Fame. I think he really gives the bloodline some credibility. Maybe they Roman let him down and they have to anoint a new head of the table, and then Roman comes back and tries to get his head of the table status back. I don't know. There's a lot of things they can do with it. I'm excited for the future, and that's what we love when things like this, and it's like, wow, there's so many places they can go with some of this stuff. It just makes it that more interesting to watch.
Yeah, obviously I love the match. I knew it was going to be, once the Bloodline rules, we knew it was going to be overbooked chaos in a good way. But I like that they gave them 20, 30, however many minutes of them two just beating the hell out of each other. And both of them spear after spear. Like, not only Roman delivering spears, Cody delivering some spears too, and just false, but making it like a normal match for a while. And then Then the chaos starts happening. The Usos things off the Usos off the stage, and then everybody that came out, it's like, yes, it was overbooked or whatever. You knew it was going to be that in a good way, but it all told the story. Like y'all said, Cody tried to do the trifecta. Solo got the spike on him again to stop it, and then Cena comes out because Solo had taken him out, and then The Rock comes out and we do Rock Cena, and then the Undertaker. His last loss was to Roman. Roman was who ended the Undertaker, so he didn't do anything to Roman, but he came and got The Rock, and obviously they had some history, and then so everything, it all had a story to it within the chaos, and then Cody finally, he kept the night before he had his trifecta messed up. Every time he tried to go 3 crossroads, it always got messed up. He finally got it and won that way, and he saw the emotion on his face. Right when the match ended and everything started happening, I looked at my wife and said, "How can you not be romantic about professional wrestling? This is, I mean, it's just like there's something about it." And another thing, she was great all weekend, but especially announcing this, yeah, I want to give flowers to Samantha Irvin. I mean, and everybody has, but she even showed the emotion. She got choked up. And then when you go on like social media and see her doing it, it just it made it be even more special. And I love the celebration after and hearing the music on loop and everybody. And then Kevin Owens and them having to prop up Seth Rollins to even get him in the ring because he's beat up. So and then Seth and Cody having their moments it was just all great. It was a perfect ending to. It was not a perfect WrestleMania, but it was a really good 13 matches. Not everyone's going to be good, but it was a good WrestleMania, a really good WrestleMania. And I know Diggs is going to disagree because I'm surprised he probably saw my tweet. It was an all timer. It's not the best WrestleMania ever, but it's an all timer. It's up there. It is. We will remember. There's several moments we will remember forever, and especially Cody.
It is absolutely up there, and just one thing, and I've tweeted about this. The way that even Seth fell when he got chair shotted, the same exact way that Roman fell when he got chair shotted, just the way he even landed on the rope is just genius storytelling. Like you said, how could you not be romantic? This was clearly the best WrestleMania of the 2-night era. I think we're on year 4 or 5 of the 2-night era. Clearly the best of that. It's hard to put it up against some of the older ones, but it's definitely memorable. It's going to definitely be top 8 at the very least. But I think some others had better undercards. So it's going to be kind of hard to measure that. And then how do you measure 8 hours versus 3.5 hours back in the day? So there's some calibration issues you got to work out in figuring that out. But definitely the best of the 2-night era.
I do got a question. How much different too? Could y'all imagine if this was just been one night? How it would have taken away from the Cody match because one, they wouldn't have had multiple matches probably. Are they still mad because they used to do multiple matches on, but because like watching those old WrestleManias, Bret Hart would have 2 or 3 matches and and it was only a 3.5 hour show. But I could just not because I remember the last couple one nighters they were like 10.5, 11 hours, and we were just by the time the main event got there, we were. It wasn't that it wasn't good. It was just we didn't have nothing left.
Yeah.
Well, much as I hate to say this, but that's about the only thing good that came out of the pandemic. That it caused WrestleMania to go 2 nights.
Yeah.
Because that's what started it, the pandemic, where they couldn't. That's what. Yeah, I think it was in Tampa. Was it Florida? So that's what started all this. They
the first thing they had to do, they did at the Performance Center, but
yeah.
Oh my God, that sucked.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
So I got two little nuggets for y'all. The first one, so after Roman lost, it was the first time since January 3rd, 2020, that someone in the Shield wasn't holding a title.
Wow.
Someone. Yeah.
Dirt sheet
Kind
Brandon.
of title.
There we go.
There he is.
But here's another. So he lost to Cody Rhodes on Sunday Night Roman. Do y'all know what Roman's the last 5 people to pin Roman in WWE?
Oh, I saw that. Baron Corbin's one. Jey Uso.
So Jey Uso last year at Mania, and then the other 3 were all in 2019 before he came back as the Tribal Chief. But those other 3,
Shane McMahon was one.
Yeah, and then someone we talked about earlier, Eric Rowan.
Rowan, yeah.
But
Wow.
it shows where his 3 were Shane McMahon, Rowan, and Baron. That was before he came back as Tribal. That's what sent him away.
That's crazy.
Man. Well, what
and
a
then
night.
he went and pinned for 4 years until Jey Uso did it at last year's Mania.
What a night. Well, and we'll hopefully get another show in, guys, whenever we do the draft. What is coming up? Is it the AEW pay-per-view coming
The
up next?
21st is Dynasty, and then the draft's the 26th and 29th.
Okay, so maybe we'll talk about the AEW pay-per-view and then talk draft and see.
Speaking of AEW, did y'all watch Dynamite last week?
I have kind of behind on AEW.
The ending, the contract signing between Swerve and Joe, it's something. It gets you excited for it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to catch up on that. Maybe I can catch up on it tomorrow.
There was also a surprising heel turn on AEW last week.
My son's favorite wrestler on AEW is Swerve, just because of the
I really do think if Triple H can do it over again right now with his new era, I think he'll really bring back Swerve and Keith Lee both, if he could.
Well, Keith, is Keith Lee still signed with AEW right now? Okay, because we hadn't seen him lately, and he was at the Hall of Fame there tonight, and so.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see when some contracts.
I know Ricky Starks is still in AEW, but Ricky Starks was at WrestleMania there night too.
Yeah, a lot of people leave whenever Vince came back. So it'll be interesting to see when because there's some interesting things going on in the locker room. AEW. It's kind of I've heard a little more about the CM Punk thing, and
they're going to show it. They're going to show it tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which to me is
that reeks of desperation.
I know. I mean, I'm like but the locker room, and I've heard him talk, and from what I understand from people that know a lot about wrestling, he's been a perfect character and a perfect person in the locker room as far as I think a lot of from what I understand, Tony Khan is just the boss wise is not real good with controlling all those egos and stuff, and it's causing a lot of that over there in AEW. So, I mean, I want AEW to succeed, because I think the more they both succeed, the better product you're going to get from both. Kind of like the old Monday Night Wars. You got trying to compete, then it's going to be better. But it does make it interesting. I mean, we know CM Punk's had his ways, but since he's been back, he only had trouble in AEW. Now, I know he hadn't been in WWE very long, but I mean, you would think by now you would have heard somebody having a problem. And from what I've read everywhere that I've read my wrestling scoops from, he has been an absolute locker room leader, so that's really, really interesting. But we'll come back and talk about that pay-per-view and then the draft, and maybe maybe your fearless foes, Matt, will return. Maybe we can get Jeremy and KO and get a full house in here.
I thought KO was going to pop on at some time, but I guess.
Yeah, the news with the weather tonight. Maybe the news station was been busy. There's a lot of that going on.
I thought he was going to be off tonight. I guess he got called in because he was supposed to be calling a game, but.
Yeah, he was supposed to do a game, but when the news station needs him, he is like the man. So he has to go in and run everything. I'm sure he's real excited.
Analyzing precipitation on softball fields and Tatum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey Diggs, I also got to tell you, congratulations, Plano East. ESPN ranked them as the number 2 high school team in the nation today. They ranked them 12th in their rankings, but they're the second out of the actual high schools.
Number 1.
Number 2 is the first loser.
Well, number one's the Columbus, the Boozers.
The Boozers?
Yeah, Boozer Twins.
The Boozer Twins.
Oh, the Twins. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
We'll take it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the best stories in a while. I even retweeted your Tyler Legacy coach talking about how he hopes everybody can be like Plano East. You know, it was a great story.
On that note, speaking of great stories, we'll end with this tonight. Thanks for tuning in to Off the Ropes. It's episode 22, WrestleMania Review Show. We'll be back here in a few weeks to talk AEW pay-per-view and the WWE Draft. I'm Mr. Netison, Brett Swinney, for the Professor Matt Diggs, Brendan Ogden, and Swaggy, the final boss. Signing off for this evening. Make sure you go subscribe to our YouTube channel, Disrespect Sports Network, where all our Off the Ropes segments are. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Everyone have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time right here on Off the Ropes.
You took it all away, I give it all away. You take my freedom, here to change the game, a better man to play. I built my kingdom, now you bow to me. You took my dreams but not my name. You'll follow me until the end. I am my kingdom. Lights go down, I'm ready now. Tear this roof up for the town. Gonna give them what they came to see. Hear the crowd on the toes, ready for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa,